Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 164 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
George Breden,
James Fitzgerald,
and Brian Jennette.
In this episode, we're digging beneath the hotness lists, past the award winners, and beyond the games everyone already knows. We're talking about hidden gems, those incredible board games that somehow slipped under the radar but deserve a spot on your table. So dust off your shelves, open up your wish list, and get ready to discover your next favorite game. These are the hidden gems of board gaming. Enjoy the show. Random question for everyone. What is a real life hidden gem, such as a place to eat, hobby, type of food, city, etc., that you want people to know about?
Beatles.
Wow, that was a lot of things. Say that.
No, that's just some examples, right?
Yeah.
Like a place to eat that you think is a hidden gem, or a type of food, or what kind of hobby that you might be into that you think somebody else should check out, or a city. It could be anything, a hidden, but it has to be something like a real life hidden gem. It can't be like a video game or something entertaining. It has to be something that's real.
Okay. Yeah, I got one.
Okay. All right. Wow. That was actually quick. Good. It gives all the rest of us time.
Right. So, okay. This is a place that you can go on your
If this is Ireland.
vacation. Of course it's Ireland.
That's not a hidden gem.
It's not all of Ireland. When people go to Ireland,
Drill
right?
down.
Yeah, they go to Ireland. They always think, "Oh, I'm going to go to the cliffs of Moher, right? I want to go to these giant cliffs and look out over the sea, whatever."
It's exactly what I thought.
They're okay, whatever. But you should go to Sleeve League up in Donegal. Sleeve League is the highest cliffs, and it's so much more impressive. And people don't really think about that one. It's like the real life version of Princess Bride when they're climbing up that cliff. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's brilliant. That's a hidden gem spot. Sleeve League.
All right, cool. Anybody got anything? If not, I'll go.
Italy? No, I'm just kidding.
All of which
Hawaii. That's a great destination place.
nobody knows about it.
I mean, I did kind of randomly pop this up right before we started, so I hadn't had any time to think of it. But I'm going to say a hidden gem to me. It's not so hidden if you're near it, but maybe it kind of is, because there's plenty of people I've talked about it too that still had no idea, and they live in this town, and it's in many cities, and that is the Activate. It's called Activate. It's a place to go to. It's a workout / game that you play. Number one, George, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what are you talking about? It sounds great.
Dude, it's so good.
Dude, it is so... James, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, that sounds
called,
familiar, but
Tim,
Wait.
you know, they just redid it and they added new stuff.
And they just opened it back up.
yeah,
You
so
work out
pictures.
as a game? That sounds great.
Yes, it's called Activate Games, and basically when you go in, you get like 75 minutes to play. There are multiple rooms that you can go in, and when you go up to the screen to enter the room, you scan your badge, because you actually have a profile and stuff. So they track your sessions and all that stuff, so that you can get points and everything. And so you go up to a screen, and maybe if the four of us were playing, right, we would go up and scan in. We choose whatever game, because each room has multiple games, but the physicalness of the room is the same. For instance, there's one room that's about like rock climbing. And so like there's all these handholds on the wall, but they light up. So you're holding on all these rock climbing things, and they light up different colors, and you have to start clicking all the blue ones and staying away from the red ones, because the room gives you life points, right? You have like 5 life. And if anybody on your team does something that touches a red, you're going to lose a life. And the stages, each game has multiple stages. Or there's another game in that same room where you have to make it from the left to the right, and then back from the right to the left. Whereas that first game, you're sitting in the same spot, but you can't fall off, because if you touch the ground, you also set off a life. But there's another game.
Wait. I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Let's say you lose all your lives, then
the game ends, and then you have to leave the room.
The game ends?
Yeah.
So you don't get to work out anymore.
No, you go to
just
another
walk
room.
outside.
Like
You can start the game over or go to a different room.
Okay.
There's like 8 or 10 rooms. Yeah.
Okay.
But you start the game, and each game's like 2 or 3 minutes. So it's not very long, but then then it's like, do you want to progress to the next stage? And you click the button, or would you like to retry? But if somebody comes up and tries to get into that room while you're in it,
Yeah.
Your session's going to end at the end of the game, either if you lose or win. And then
Okay.
you have to exit.
And
so
all the games are that kind of like a few minutes kind of thing. It's like high interval.
it's all like
intensity,
high intensity mini
high
games,
intensity
basically.
interval training. Yeah.
And so there's another room that has like a grid system on the ground. Like think of like when you look at a tile floor and it's all these like, 1 foot by 1 foot squares.
Sure.
Except they all light up. And then
The floor is lava.
basically, yes. There's one that you have to get from one side to the next side, but you have to click all the blue squares without touching any of the red. And sometimes the reds are moving around.
Oh, this sounds so fun.
Dude.
Sometimes they show you on the screen and then they disappear. So you have to memorize where the locations were. Dude, it is. Look, Google, just go ahead and type it in your browser so you can keep it off the side and look at it.
This is an absolute blast. And it really is a hidden gem, and it's not in it's in like 12 cities or something. So it's, obviously it's going to be hard to find one if you're really far away, but
you should also add Sierra's score.
Oh yeah. Sierra's in the top 100 players.
Cause you're scored.
Right. Yeah. Because everything you play, you get points and score, and they'll give you swag as you play.
She's in the top 100 of like the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's been doing it since the beginning, and so if you come in, it's hard to catch up sometimes, but it is you are able to catch up because you only score big the first time you play a stage. And then the next time you play that stage, you score like minimal points, even if you're playing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
there's one here. There's one in Cincinnati.
And actually the one that probably gets the most people is there's the, like in that movie, oh man, what was it called? Entrapment, I think, where they have the laser traps. Well, anyway, it's like laser beams and you have to dodge them.
Oh, like Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Mission
Mission Impossible. Right. So you're going from one end of the room to the other end of the room, and then you have to dodge all these laser beams. And it is so cool because you actually touch it.
Is it pumping fog in? So you can
Yeah, they do.
Dude, this thing is absolutely fun. It's incredibly, it's really not that expensive. I want to say it's maybe $20 to $22 a person for 75 minutes.
Okay.
I think it's like it starts off at like 30 or 40, but if you go again that month, it discounts it each time. So each time you go additional, it's less.
Wow. So if you do really well, like Sierra has done, then does she get contacted by the CIA or something?
Yeah, you get recruited. You're special ops.
Trench is the one we don't do as much because you basically have these fake guns.
I love that one, dude.
And you shoot all these little targets, and then you have to military crawl against the ground to avoid these lasers, get to the other side to hit the button to do it again, and then go back. Dude, it'll wear you down.
Wow. Do they have like, I don't know, National Guard and like police just sort of, sometimes rent out the whole place for a day?
They do parties, I think, but I don't know if it's that.
That's a good one.
Well, anyway, check out Activate Games. Brian or James, you got anything to add? You don't have to.
I'm going to do a dumb one. Are you ready? So how many times everybody likes ice cream, right?
It was a sales pitch. I like it.
So how many times have you gone to McDonald's and the ice cream machine is broken? And you're like, what the hell is this? Well, if you go to mcbroken.com, there is an API that somebody created that basically creates an order every so many minutes. And then if it fails because the order, if you do it on your app and you set your, it's basically spoofing GPS. So it goes to a local McDonald's, starts an order. If the order fails, then it triggers the ice cream machine is down. So if you go to McBroken, it marks every McDonald's, and if the ice cream machine is working, and the last time it was known it was working.
That's fun.
That's amazing.
This ain't a hidden gem. This is a life hack.
Dude, yeah.
That reminded me of
dude, it's brilliant though.
Do y'all, since you are in Louisville, I think both of you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the can opener?
Yes.
Yeah, it's already claimed 9 as of right now. Last 3 days.
It's got that website which counts down how many.
For those who are not aware, there's by University of Louisville, there's a bridge. It's an overpass, and it is not it's not a standard height for semi trucks and box trucks to go under. But no one really pays attention. And right now they're doing a lot of maintenance. They actually shut down 65, the interstate, from it's like multiple miles of this thing, and it's terrible. It's awful. We'll talk about that some other time. But all these trucks are coming off and going down there, and within 3 or 4 days, it has claimed 9 victims to the point where I think there's a tow truck just kind of sitting around waiting for people to get hit. That's how often it's happening.
It's only 11 foot 8 inches, and there's multiple signs and GPS notices it. But some people think maybe it's not that. No,
The thing
shreds
is,
the
it's
top.
tall enough. It's just that you go down a little bit and then you come back up. And so a really long semi goes down and it's fine. But as soon as they start coming back up, now you're actually taller than the 11 feet or the actual clearance of the bridge. Right. Or not the bridge, but taller than what you actually are as a semi. Because you have the height difference between the ground going down and coming up.
You dipped on the way in, so you thought you were fine.
Right, because it's 12 on one side, 11.8 on the other side, and it's a dip.
No.
So that's what's...
Yeah. But I've seen videos and pictures that there's now a sign that says, it flashes, says your vehicle's too tall, turn left. Don't go under the bridge. And people, they still ignore it.
There's right now an over-under on by August 1st, how many total trucks are going to get eaten by it.
What's that website, like Kashi.com or something, like where it's like they take bids
on anything.
Bet on anything. Oh man, that's good. Is that one yours, James? Is that what you're gonna?
I mean, I got something not as great as Activate, but if you're ever in Seattle and who doesn't like ping pong? Who doesn't like drinking? Well, I don't really drink, but there's a bar. It's called Spin, and it's just a bunch of ping pong tables you can rent out, and a bar there if you like drinking and stuff. But it was a really good time. I stumbled across it one time at a conference, and it's down in the basement of one of the old buildings downtown Seattle. And
that's rad.
Yeah, and it's pretty fun. We had a good time there. So recommend. That's a hidden gem in Seattle.
Have you been to Louisville and played with Rec Bar?
No.
Rec Bar is really cool.
How many arcade games? Like 300-400 probably.
I don't know if it's that many, but it's all the old ones, from the 90s ish. Yeah, 80s and 90s, and they have a ton of pinball machines as well. That thing is really cool. Yeah, Rec Bar is good. I don't know if that's much of a hidden gem if you're from Louisville. I feel like everybody.
No, if you're here, everybody knows about it.
You know about it.
Okay, 70 pinball machines and over 60 arcade games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was this a question that ChatGPT came up with?
No, I just thought about it. Actually, the original question was, what is your favorite actual gem? But as I was typing that, I was like, man, that's not really fun. What about like life gems, Emerald?
Yeah.
My birthstone's citrine, so I guess I'm going to go a little generic there.
It's what?
Citrine. Yeah, it's like a yellow color.
It's like a yellow kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Don't know that one.
Mine's ruby, so you probably
my least favorite color, but that's fine.
That's all right. I'm in October, so I have two options.
Well, like the interesting thing about that though is my ring has crushed ruby in it, which is Sierra's birthstone, and she has a hexagon of citrine, which is my birthstone.
Okay, nice. That's cool.
We went the non-traditional diamond route.
Good.
I mean, if you have a favorite gem, I guess you could say it if you want to just answer that.
See, my thing is I have tourmaline and opal as my options, which is weird because most months don't have two.
Oh, look at you. Double the fun.
Well, it's like I got a pink gem. Oh my God. And then I have a opal gem. So it's like both of which are
because it can be like pearlescent-y.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Like a pearl.
All right, well then, thanks for tuning in to talk about board games. Well, actually, we'll get into board games now. We have one big topic for you on this episode, and it's hidden gems in board games. Now, this is very, subjective? Is that the word? Subjective idea?
Certainly.
Because it can mean different things to different people. Before we go into the list of games that each of us are going to talk about, though, we're going to kind of briefly... We're not going to talk about like all the deep science that we each had, if we had any of it at all. But the idea of like, what criteria are you designing your list around so that people kind of get an idea? Because if we just start throwing a bunch of games out there, it might be, why are your hidden gems so much different than somebody else's? So,
okay.
George, you want to start? Like, give us kind of like the quick rundown. You don't have to go super deep.
Okay. Well, I think the main thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that I talked about games that I hadn't talked about on the podcast before. So I kind of went back and looked at a lot of the different episodes and things that we talked about, and took all of those off the list right off the bat. And that actually took care of a lot of them because I talk about hidden gem kind of games quite a bit. And so then I selected from things that were left, and the overall thing that made it hidden to me would be that it was over 8,000 on Board Game Geek. So it wasn't anything that was
8,000, like ranked 8,000 or higher.
Yes,
I went for 5, and I
Okay.
thought that was going pretty deep. Yeah. All right, keep going. Keep going.
And if it had quite a few, not quite a few, the opposite of that, just not very many ratings. If it had only a few ratings, and then the last thing to make it a gem, it has to be something that I think, yeah, I want to play that. That's a good game. I like it, and that was it.
And to kind of, and we sort of had a group discussion about this lightly because I wanted to make sure everybody was in the same express lane or express road, but maybe you're on a different lane, right? So you're adjacent to some degree. Mine, 5,000 or more ish.
Okay.
And you're right. Like I didn't want a ton of, because here's the thing. There's like 700 to 1,000 board games released every year. All right. Times 10 years. That's like $7,000. It's like there's so many games out there that stuff is going to have a rank or, a rank as far as overall, right? The first one I'm going to talk about is 17,280.
Nice.
But here's the thing. It's weird because I didn't actually think it was that not talked about. Like it was that obscure or anything like that. And not that I'm trying to pick obscure games, but what is a hidden gem, right? It's a gem that's hidden it, but it's not a diamond. We're not talking diamonds in the rough because those are really hard to come by. And typically those will become found, if that makes sense, within a year or so. And then they'll rise to the top, right? Somebody will talk about it and then it'll get big because it is a great game. Whereas I think hidden gems are games that aren't perfect, right? They do have some rough edges and some things that don't make them super polished, but they're still awesome and they're really good, or they have something unique going on with them. James is getting nervous. He's sweating.
Yes, very nervous.
But, and then the other thing I tried to do is that there wasn't as many video content on it or, a massive list of forum responses and stuff like that. We're not saying that every game on this list you haven't heard of. That's not what this list is. It is not a top 10 games you've never heard of. We could probably do that to some degree.
I could definitely do that.
Yeah, I could maybe have a handful, but some of those are on this list probably. Just because I want to bring awareness to some of these games because I do think a lot of people have not played them even at the time they got released. There's a couple on my list that actually had a little bit of traction when they came out many years ago. And then I think they're great enough to have second printings or come back in with a second edition or something like that. So, James, we'll leave Brian for last here for reasons.
Well, mine is, I'm not as seasoned as you and George, Tim. So I haven't played all these weird, obscure games. But I went through, I was thinking about it, and I just went through my first criteria was, do people, games that really you don't hear about that much at all. I mean, and so I wrote down a bunch of games. Then I went by BGG rating, which unfortunately they're a little higher than some of them are a little higher than 5,000. But then I crossed out because one game I thought was nobody's talking about that, but it was like ranked 500 in BGG. So I was like, well, that's obviously not a hidden gem. So I went down with that, and then I did own and ranked, and then I kind of toned it. I think I try to keep it no lower or no higher than like 1,000 or 1,500 owned. So BGG.
I didn't look at owned. That's
there's one that kind of breaks that rule.
Yeah,
that kind of breaks that rule because I still think it needs to be talked about, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. And then the ratings too; those kind of go hand in hand with owned and rating.
Yeah.
So usually, if the owned is low, rating is lower, a lot lower. So I was trying to go with that, and then I tried to order them in what I kind of like, but then I just kind of went off the rails and ordered them any way I wanted.
I didn't think to look at owned. I wish I would have.
Yeah. So
none of mine are higher than 300 people rating them.
He went super obscure.
Yeah. Mine's not that obscure. You'll probably think I'm saying Wingspan or Scythe on some of these. You're like,
No,
well,
Wingspan.
everybody knows those.
Yeah, Wingspan. No, here's the thing.
Innovative.
And this is why I left Brian for last, because his take is going to be slightly different than the rest of us. And it's totally fine. Like, I think there's hidden gems every year that come out, and there's hidden gems. First off, we kind of mentioned this on our top games of 2025, right? Like I said, there's 700 and something games in 2025 that came out, if I remember correctly. I don't remember how many, but we can't play them all. And you can't play them all. You listeners can't play them all.
Right.
I mean, you probably could play all of the 2025 games, but then you have 2026, 24, 23, and keep going, right? So there's tons and tons and tons of games out there that you can't play. Whether or not you heard somebody else talk about them for 5 minutes or whatever, it is what it is, right? There's just so much stuff out there that something's going to be hidden, right?
Let's stake our claim. We're just going to be the 2019 podcast. That we're just going to do only 2019 games until we've played all of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right. Every year is the year before. Every episode is 10 new games that we played from the previous year. Brian, tell us your thing.
So mine, like you said, is going to be a little different because with me just kind of really getting the hobby in the last couple of years, I don't have a lot of the knowledge base from prior. So the way my criteria worked was it was more recent games. But like you said, even in 2025, how many games came out? I mean, there's games that come out no one even knows about half the time. So my criteria was it had to be less than roughly 300 reviews. I have some that only have 47.
Okay.
Videos were also, I tried to keep it under 10 to kind of at least keep that down. And that was kind of the main criteria because if you figure that, it's not going to be high in BGG's ranking anyway because there's not enough people to rank it to throw the algorithm out. So most of my stuff, I mean, I have stuff from 5,000 to 15,000 rank.
Wow.
Okay. Good.
And
Yeah.
and it kind of goes like 2022 to 25, but then I've got a 2015 game in here. And then a couple honorable mentions. And since
It'll
we
be
don't have a lot,
interesting.
and I'll keep my explanation within like 2 or 3 minutes since there's so many. That way we can kind of get through it a little quicker.
Yeah, I think we would need to try. Yeah.
I will say that this is not a top 10 list. I purposely did not label it top 10 hidden games because these are really hard to compare to each other, I think. And the other thing is we just want to bring awareness to them, not necessarily rank games that aren't being ranked. I feel like that might be, I don't know, slightly elitist or whatever to be like, well, here's our top 10 most obscure games.
Oh, there was one more criteria. I had to have played them all.
Well, that was, I feel like that's a,
but to be fair, I have seen some
must.
people that have done stuff and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you've never played this.
Ouch. Well, I have a request. If I could start us off with a game that is a pre-honorable mention.
Okay.
What in the world is a pre-honorable mention?
Put it at the end.
It's an honorable mention, but it's not going to occur like at the space where an honorable mention would normally occur.
All right. I'll match you. You start.
Okay. All right. Perfect. And
Mine will make sense, but keep going.
No,
Because
mine will make
yours
sense
doesn't.
too.
All right.
Are you going to put a little
Mine will make
timer on
sense.
screen?
Here's why. Here's
As
why I
soon
want
as
to
it
do
starts,
this
a
now.
timer goes on screen. It's like, click. You got 2 minutes to speak. Go.
That's fair. But I wanted to do it at the start because sometimes we talk about games that we've just played or that are,
Wait.
What have we been doing lately kind of thing.
Before we get into it, though, I'm going to say one thing.
Sure.
For the sake of time, because we're going to have a ton of games here to talk about.
Yeah.
We're not going to go super deep into these rules. So if you're trying to understand, like if you listen to the podcast where we talk about a game and then we explain kind of the overview and then we talk about it, we're not doing that here. It is a very 1 minute explanation, very elevator sales pitch. If somebody was showing you body language like, I don't want to be around you, and they're walking off, but you still wanted to get this out to them, that's the length of time that we're going to spend. But the other thing
that's a very
is
familiar experience for several of us.
Yeah. You're in Target and the person's like picking up a clue and you're like, wait a minute. Let me tell you about this game over here. And they're like, this guy's a stalker.
They just start backing away.
Yeah. They start backing away. So like, we're going to keep it kind of short. And then if we can kind of give the thing you like about it that makes it a hidden gem. Right.
Yes.
So if Sushi Go, which is not a hidden gem, was your option, you would be like, it's a card drafting game. You pass around cards, and at the end, once you've got your collection of cards in front of you, you score. What makes it unique is basically it was one
sushi.
of the newer sushi. Like there wasn't a lot of drafting games when it came out. That's what made it unique. But like as of today, it wouldn't be super,
Right.
But anyway, that's kind of anyway, George.
So it's kind of a rapid fire explanation.
This is gonna be rapid fire because I think some of us have more than 10, George, and
Yeah, that's right.
I want to keep it real quick and but we can comment and make fun of each other. Go ahead, George.
All right. Well, this is my extra. Like I do have more than 10 because I have this one, and it's because it is something. What have you been playing lately? And it just came in the mail, and I just got it.
How is this a hidden gem?
Well, give me a second.
It better be a game that tomorrow. You like. Go ahead.
You tell me how many of you have heard of this game. And I'm going to tell you,
launched.
You all should have, right? Okay, just came on Kickstarter. It is from I believe a British company called Minor Disaster Games, and it is called Trouble on the Tempest. Familiar?
Okay. No.
Okay. No, it didn't get enough marketing. It's fairly hidden. It is fantastic. This game, okay, I just have to enthuse about this game for a while because it is a time travel game, which is a theme that I absolutely love. And I'm going to share a couple of pictures while I'm talking about this. So this is a game in which you're on a spaceship. You have a crew of people on a spaceship. And
quick, read his other tabs. One of all his answers.
Yeah.
There's all these disasters happening, right? And so you're going to be getting these cards that have various disasters on them, and they say in steps what you do. And there's fires breaking out, and there's electrical problems breaking everything down, and there's explosions happening. There's all this terrible stuff happening on the ship, and you have these characters that run around cooperatively, and you have abilities to try to deal with it. And it's like Pandemic. You run around and put out fires, right? Just in the sense that it's a co-op. But the great thing is you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to die. But the ship has a time travel button that if you can get to it and you hit the time travel button, then you're going to go back in time. You're going to start the game over, which that sounds terrible, but it's really not. When you start the game over, you're going to know, if you've paid attention, the order of what's going to happen, all the bad stuff, but nobody can remember it perfectly anyway. And so you have this imperfect knowledge that you're working with. Plus, there's a paradox card that gets put into the deck that you don't know what that's going to do because it's a time paradox, and it's going to mess with the plans that you're laying. And it's so clever and so thematic. I had a blast playing it. If you go back in time for the fourth time, when that paradox comes up, then you've done too many time paradoxes and you blink out of existence and you've lost. And there's like 7 other ways that you can lose the game. There's only one way to win, but you can figure out with everyone, okay, what are we going to do? Because we know this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this. And you think your way through this game, and these little changes cause these cascading effects that are hilarious when they mess with this carefully laid plan that you've got. It is terrific. Trouble on the Tempest. I had to give it a plug. It is the best Kickstarter game I've gotten in a long time.
Fair enough. And for more news, no, I was kidding.
It's a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem. People don't know about it, but it is absolutely a gem.
Kind of sounds like Deathloop.
Yeah, it's that sort of idea. I love that kind of time travel stuff. Love it.
Or that one in the white box, was it Chronicles of Crime that did that, where you had to keep going back and forth, and if you started over if you
No, it was Time Stories.
Time Stories, terrible game. But
yeah, this is fantastic.
Whatever. Time Story is great.
That was terrible.
Time Stories had its place. It had its moment in the sun.
All right. Because I'm the one who's saving the video, we're going to go in this option. We're going to go George, James, Brian, Tim, because then it'll be like a cool counterclockwise thing. James, you're next. Start us off, actually, with something.
Start us off. Yeah, that wasn't my number 10.
Me start or George? George starts.
No, James. George already went. He's already talking about it.
Oh. Hold on, let me pull up my
Oh, he
game.
Wasn't ready.
No.
While he's doing this, I'll give you my pre list.
Oh, you have one? You have a pre-honorable mention too?
I actually have an honorable mention and I have a pre one. I wasn't even going to talk about this one, but I will.
Well, don't talk about your honorable mention. Just talk about your pre-honorable.
Right.
This is the pre-honorable mention. Here we go.
Okay.
Ready? It's a game that you can actually play without owning anything.
Ooh, I like those.
Yeah, and you all probably know what this is, but it's called Win, Lose, Banana.
Oh, yeah.
So It has crappy ratings. I promise you, this is fun and entertaining for a few minutes. All you need is 3 cards. You make one say win, one say lose, and one say banana. Yeah, it's only 3-player game, right? So you shuffle them up, you hand them out. Whoever has the win card flips it over, and they say, "Oh, I've got the win card. Who has the banana?" And then the other 2 players have to convince that player that they have the banana. And then eventually the person with the win card is going to be like, "Okay, fine, James, you have the banana. Let's do it." And you flip over your card. If you have the banana, then those players get a point. But if if the person flips it over and they have lose, that player gets 2 points. And then you shuffle and do it again. And I think it's first to 5, or really you just play the game.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just so stupid. It's really fun. And it's amazing because you can actually play this in the car. All you have to do is pass out the cards, and the driver can just quickly look at their card real quick. And then there's just a bunch of talking. So it is
so good. It's social deduction distilled to its most basic element.
It's such a silly game. I actually have a copy that was published from with a game called Flowerfall, which is a very really really cool dexterity game.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, James, you ready?
Yep.
Do it.
So my first game, this one was hard to put on the list. Because of what you say about uniqueness. It's ranked right now. I'm not going to show it yet.
This is a deck builder. No,
it is actually a deck builder. It's at 12,252 rank overall.
Okay.
Only 59 ratings and 185 people. I've talked about it twice on this podcast.
And we can't guess what it is. That's sad.
So if you've been listening for the past year, go ahead, James.
Yeah. Because and why it's at this spot, it pretty much rips off Star Realms, and so you should know what it is now.
Oh, actually, I think I do.
And it is. Can you see that? Last Command.
Last Command. I do see it.
Okay. I can't tell. It says sharing.
This got released last year, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a deck builder. I mean, it's a small company. I think it's Sentient Games. I think they did do a Kickstarter on this. But it's just your basic Star Realms head-to-head fighting with deck builder. And what makes it different is you've got the 3 different sections of the ship. You got your own big ship. Instead of multiple ships like Star Realms, you got your one big ship. And what you're doing is you're adding to the ship to give you more power. You got engineering, comms, and tactical, and that's where you're building the decks from. So you're not pulling from one deck. You can pull from different decks. You can also pull from crew decks. And for me personally, what makes this a hidden gem itself is that you can play as solo. And it's got an excellent solo bot as compared to, you can't play Star Realm solo. So that's what really pushes this up higher for me. It's been a while since I played it, but it's a really fun game.
And then how many people can play it?
It's up to 2. It's just a 2-player game.
Gotcha. Can you put the bot in and play with 3 if you put the bot in? Oh.
No, because there's 2 mats. You only have 2 mats you can buy another copy of the game, which I highly recommend it since not many people own it. So they need to get on top of that. So I think if
you're a fan of Star Realms, check it out.
That's why I'm putting it here, because if you're
Rubber Ducky Deep Rampage, what is this? It's a hidden gem right there.
It will be.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? I was too busy trying to get the
ad
pop
on
down
Board
thing
Game
out
Geek.
of my way.
You know what I like about our podcast? We're real.
Random.
We're in the moment.
What I say, 185. So in the past 2 weeks, when I made this list, 3 people have bought it. So that's how hidden it is.
All right, we got to keep track of it with this episode when it releases.
Up and coming.
Yeah.
And
Bam, always
the ratings have stayed the same, and the rank actually
I haven't
went
had
up.
time to play it yet.
It was 480 when I first.
People can look this stuff up. We don't have to talk about this stuff.
Okay, so yeah,
just talk about the game and what you like. Yeah.
But rates it an 8.
I do remember. I think you put this on your either Origins or Gen Con preview list.
Yes, and I talked about it since then.
I thought it looked cool too.
It is pretty cool. It's a really good game. It's almost a Star Realms killer. I mean, I hardly play Star Realms anymore, but it is pretty close. If I chose between the 2, I'd probably choose this one over Star Realms to play.
All right, cool.
All right, who's next?
Brian, what you got?
All right. I guess I can start with the latest.
You want me to share something for you? Because this will be a video at one point, unless you're doing it.
Actually, yeah, you can. I got to share mine. How do I share my screen? can I?
So if you look down at the bottom on your taskbar,
Oh, it's,
at the bottom is share. Yeah, just
I'm so
like to
used
click-
to.
I'm
so used to not seeing. I'm not used to using Zoom.
This will be a podcast video, by the way. So that for those listening to the show, it will end up being a video because it's easy to edit.
Actually, I can't because I think the permissions have to be done.
Actually, try. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
We did it.
okay. So this game that I'm going to share is basically a game called Haptopia. It's a little card
Hit
game.
that allow thing. Yeah,
Get out of here. So anyway, this is Haptopia. It basically is a 10 game. So I like games like that because you can store it in your pocket and go.
You're saying it comes in like an Altoids 10.
Yeah, Altoid 10. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is basically when I did the review. These are photos from it, but basically, all it is you're creating these ecosystems and these habitats. So
I love the art.
the art is very well done. And basically, what it is I can't do that. But anyway, you could basically have a stack of cards. You put 3 out, and then the top of the card has here's what the criteria for the condition is. The little square on the bottom right, it's like 4 little squares. That tells you what the habitats are on the back of the card. So you basically take one card, you play it to say, okay, I'm going to try to match and complete this. And then the squares can be left, right, top, down, kind of like a forest shuffle, except the cards just stack against the other one. And they can kind of be offset. And then you're just trying to match these criteria. Like the one on the left, this win condition is it has to be a lake. So you have to have a lake with a little island, a habitat in the center.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, interesting.
But it's a really cool small little card game. I think there is, let me see, less than, not a whole lot of people. Yeah, you can tell it's like 44 ratings, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like I said, we could skip all that stuff. I mean,
yeah, but basically all mine are going to be like that. But small game came out last year, smaller company. But yeah, I think it's a fun little bitty game, and the artwork is brilliant.
Forest Shuffle Killer.
No, Forest Shuffle is S tier. But Forest Shuffle did have it. But Forest Shuffle Dartmoor has an expansion that is coming out, and they just showed it at the UK convention, and then I think they're going to have it at Origins.
About this. Yep, excited for that one.
All right, that's
pretty cool.
I'm trying to make it fast.
No, yeah, I like it. I like it. My first game on this list is a game that George will be excited about, and that is Sacred Rites.
Oh, I love this one.
This is a party style game in the vein of Spyfall, where everybody gets a card and it's placed into this little bag called traditions. And so, you get the tradition is a word basically. And then, I forgot what the traditions were. Anyway, everybody gets go ahead, James or George, you can steal mine.
Yeah, let me
bit.
just help you out a little bit. So yeah, you have a card that is the ritual, right? And it's so you're as a group, you're doing the sacred ritual of this thing, and it could be like the sun or water or forest or snakes as on the screen.
Yeah.
And then that gets passed around to everybody, and you put it into your envelope, and then flip it over to take a look at it. And everybody has a little window cut out in their envelope so they can see what the word is, except there are outsiders amongst the ritual group who don't get to see anything. Their envelopes are covered over, so they don't know when they pretend like they're looking. And then when you have these tradition tiles passed out, and it'll say a certain thing that you do, our tradition of the color of the ritual is whatever, or our tradition of the smell, or our tradition of the feel, right? It's that kind of thing. I'll let you go ahead.
Right. And so if you had like the sun or whatever, and our color of our tradition, and it's your turn to go, and you say is blue, everybody's going to be like, well, he's full of crap. Right? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Whereas
Obvious
if you say,
outsider.
Right. But you might not want to say like red or something, because as you start doing these other traditions, the people who don't know are trying to deduce what the actual thing is. And so it's very Spyfall. In Spyfall, it's all like your spies, and then you have all these little scenes of art that are like, where's Waldo, right? There's just so much going on in the scene, and you ask questions and stuff, and you're trying to make up things if you don't know, right? But the problem with that one is, unless you actually know the pictures, it's really hard for the player who is like the double agent or whatever it's called, or the spy, I guess is the word, to do well unless they've played the game before and they have that thing in front of them, the picture of all the pictures or whatever. In this one, it's more just words, and it's really funny because if you actually do the role playing part of it, where it's like, what is like the ritual of our sacred rite is, you know, and everybody has to, what is it everybody has to say after
you say whatever it is. Like, let's say you say, you know, the feel of our sacred rite is cotton, and then everybody around the table at the same time has to say, cotton. Like, it's just so ridiculous.
It is a really ridiculous game, but it's well done and it is fantastic. Such a great game. I recommend this over Spyfall. If you like games like Spyfall or Fake Artist Goes to New York, things like that. I mean, this one doesn't replace Fake Artist just because that's drawing and this is social, but it is a phenomenal game, and man, it deserves more praise. So
agreed. Yep.
Sacred Rites. Back to you, George.
Oh, hey. Okay. So my number, what are we on? 9. My number 9 is...
No, there's no numbers.
Oh, my next one. Okay.
We do it raw.
My next one is also a deck building game, James, but it's not yours. It's called Samsara. And Samsara is a game that is about the tradition of samsara from Hinduism or Buddhism or Jainism or whatever. Anyway, you're going to be collecting cards by going around this wheel of life. And so as you move around the wheel, you stop at certain places and you pick up a card that corresponds to that phase of life, and you put it into your deck. It's a deck building game. And these cards give you abilities when you play them, but they also have symbols on them. And you're collecting these symbols because you can pay the symbols in order to get 5 amulets. And if you are able to collect 5 amulets before everyone else does, then you will reach nirvana or moksha or whatever, you know, tradition you're going by, I guess. But first, and you'll win the game. And as you go around, you're going to be able to use these symbols on the left side of the card, but you can add in the symbols on the right side of the cards if you want to, but they will get you negative or bad karma, and bad karma clogs your deck. So there are tough choices as to how you play the game, and you can block people off by going to spots that you think they're going to be trying to go for because they have to pay you and they have to collect karma by going there if you're already there. And the game is breezy. The theme really holds together well.
I've never heard the word breezy.
It is like light.
It's like light and fast.
It's light. It's fast. It's got some meat to it for gamers, but it's not going to challenge like most gamers. It's going to be a fairly quick hour-long deck building experience, and the theme of rebirth and continuing on when you go all the way around, then you have to get rid of some of the cards that you've collected as you move into the next life, but your bad karma stays with you. So yeah, it's really good. I like it.
Yeah, I like the way that one looks.
Oh, the art is tremendous. It's Disney kind of art. Yeah, that's me.
James.
My number 9.
No.
Sorry. My next one is this one. It's called.
The only reason this is not a top 10 list is because not everybody has 10 games, and like we said, it's not. Hopefully, our lists go more interesting as they go, but it doesn't mean that my first one last one I'm gonna talk about is better than the first one.
This next one is Rattleboned from 2014.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is one that's not talked about. I never heard about it. I mean,
this is one of the first dice creation games or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it took to about 2 years ago when I was watching this guy's video about top 100 games he liked. This was one of them. I was like, what the heck is this? And it's a dice crafting game and it's also blends in racing around the board. So you're going around the board and you're trying to make your dice and you're racing to a score, I think, if I recall. It's been a while. Sorry.
That's okay. You're racing around the board with victory points or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
And you get to customize as you go.
And I think it builds it. I mean, for dice crafting games, this is probably my favorite. It's just one of those. Because why it stands out is it's a quick little easy game, and it has cards, so it makes the board modular. So it's not always the same board every time you play, and it's just some easy game that you can get to the table and teach people. I don't know how hard it is to find anymore, so I don't know if I'm telling you to look for a game that's out of print.
I'm sure a lot of these games that we talk about will be hard to find because they came and went, and so it is what it is.
It's one of these games you never hear about, and it's just every time I play it, I just have a good time with it. It's just fun time, and it's real easy to change up the dice faces, and I like the other it's right up Dice Throne. No, not Dice Throne. I was going to say
if you're a fan of Dice Forge, this is not really the precursor, but it is the game that inspired that. It's
like the faces of the die put on there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really fun game.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it, and I had a good time with it. I didn't expect I would have too fun, but like I said, when I played it, it just gave me good feelings, and it's a fun, light little dice crafting game, and you're racing around the board.
That's a great choice, James.
Well, thank you. That's cool. Rattle Bones at my not number 9.
Brian.
All right. So for me, do you like video games? Because I do.
No.
So basically, this I bought on a whim because I was like, "What the hell is this? I'm buying it. This is awesome." So have you ever heard of this game called Neon Rain?
Nope.
Neither is a lot of people. That's why it's on the list. So I'm actually going to do my Instagram one because the pictures on here are god awful. So basically, what this is if you've ever played Street Fighter games,
self-serving. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So you basically pick your character, and if you notice right here, it has like a star, and then the combos.
Okay.
You basically draw a hand of 7, and then you go and you have to do combos against your other player in the form of up, down, left, right, A, B buttons and stuff like that. You can do blocks. And if you notice, go back to the characters, you see how the star requires certain things. Well, when you do the combo, you generate a star. You need 4 stars to do this power move. So it basically plays like an action Street Fighter type of...
Interesting.
Yeah. Very small game. It came out like a year or two ago. I saw it and I was like, I like the style and aesthetic of it. And I was like, let's check it out. These are little fun little game. It's a 2-player game. So it's like a dueling game.
Yeah. I like 2-player fighting games like this because if you have like 4 players, then it becomes I hope the game's designed well enough to where one person's not cleaning up the hurt other player and things like that. So,
and the games are quick. I mean, they're probably less than 10 minutes. So it's a fun little Street Fighter game and a card game. That's pretty much it. Sharp art style as well. Yes, that was kind of what most of the stuff I get is generally I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. I like the art. I'm buying it.
I'm with you on that.
All right, next one on my list is a game I've talked about before, but it is Hey Robot. This is another party game and the last party game, I promise, on my list. This is a game that you play in teams, and it doesn't really matter how many players are on a team, although if you have less, then you get to take more turns because you alternate taking turns, like teams taking turns, and then the players taking turns. Anyway, you're going to build a 4x4 grid of cards out on the middle of the table. All these cards are just words, and they have a number 1, 2, or 3. And what you're trying to do as a team is select a card, and then you have to have a robot, meaning like Alexa, or you have to have like Google Home or something that you're going to talk to. And you would be like, for instance, just doing it live here, there's one that says wizard, right? And you could say, hey, Alexa, what are the classes that you can play in Dungeons and Dragons? Right. And here's the thing. Most of the time, it's going to surprise you and make you angry because it's like Dungeons and Dragons is a game that was produced back in 1970, blah, blah. It just starts telling you random crap. Right. But that's also kind of the fun part about it is because as it's rambling this stuff off, it'll be like, it's about wizards and dragons. And you're like, yes! The whole team goes crazy because it inadvertently said the word, even though it wasn't answering your question.
It's so funny when that happens.
It is. And when you get it wrong or it doesn't work out, you put extra point chips on there and that word becomes worth more money, or the ones next to it. I can't remember the rules. It doesn't really matter. And then basically you just play until one team hits like 16 or however many points you want to play to, I guess. But dude, it is such a fantastic game that just uses, your Alexa in your house. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I always like to bust this out with a lot of players, simply because we don't play with a lot of players. And this is one that I feel like it can play. Even if you have uneven teams, it's okay, which usually I don't like that. But if you have like 3 versus 4, right, it's not a big deal because how often is it that you're taking a turn in this game, right? And so you can discuss and you can between each other and be like, what do you think we should say? I don't know, this or that or whatever. So super cool game.
I find it even funnier if you don't discuss and you just have the person go and then they say something and you're like, what were you thinking?
Like,
of course it's not going to say wizard.
I was going to say, didn't you do this on one of the podcasts?
I think we
have played, yeah.
You played it on the podcast. Yeah.
We played it on the podcast. It's more of like just being funny. But so check that out. I don't think
classic.
Actually it is on there. Hey Robot Podcast playthrough, 30 minutes. Check that out from 6 years ago. So anyway, that is Hey Robot.
Love it. All right. Is it me? I think it's me.
Yeah.
Okay. My next one is a co-op, and it is a game that is a pick up and deliver, which I normally don't go for, but this is Space Movers 2201. And Space Movers 2201 is basically Firefly the game. You have a board that has a spaceship on it with worker placement spots all around the spaceship, and then all these planets, the map and the spaceship are on the same board. You move around and you have to do these missions that come in the form of cards. And so there's narrative to it. And as you're doing your missions and moving around this board, you are trying to keep your resources on the right-hand side high. So you always have to go around and pick up things and deliver them to various places, sort of like the idea of Firefly. You're this junky spaceship crew that goes out and tries to make a living. And there is a spaceship that chases you around the board. That's the bad guys. They're the evil government that's chasing you around. If they catch up to your ship, they can take your crew and put them in jail, and you have to go break them out. And when you play the game, the big sort of hook to the game is, in order to do things in the game and perform tests, it'll say you need a certain number of dice of different colors. Each character has certain dice that they roll. You roll it in the box, and the success is a 5 or better. So if you have 4 dice, you have to get a 5 or better on all of them. That sounds tremendously unlikely, right? They're 10-sided dice. But you roll them in one at a time. And if it's lower than a 5, you can take the other one and hit the one that you've already rolled to change what it was. And you also
got a little bit of strike going on.
There's dexterity to this game.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part. And you also have a blank die that you get to throw. And
I'll be honest, I was bored up until now. Go ahead.
Right. No, it's very bog standard kind of co-op game. But then this idea of hitting the dice, and you have this blank die that you can throw in order to knock things around as well. And then I add in several house rules. I give us extra throws of that blank die and that sort of thing. But with all of that, this is a game that has a wonderful story. It has a very approachable co-op kind of play, and I think it's a hidden gem that more people should be aware of. Space Movers 2201. Really enjoy this one with a handful of house rules.
With a handful of house rules. Have you played Strike? Right? You've played Strike, right?
Yes.
So when you're talking, it's like Strike, but a board game, which sounds really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't play it. It goes up to 7 players supposedly on the box. Yeah. Don't do that. That's ridiculous. Play with 3 or 4, and then everyone gets 2 characters, right? And then you get to throw more dice and do the whole thing a lot more. Yeah. Play with 3 people. Anyway, great game.
Nice.
Space Movers 2201.
My next one is probably pushing the limit. So you probably think this is not a hidden gem. So we'll see. My next one is
this was sold 2 million copies. No.
Amalfi Renaissance. I mean, like I said,
that's fair. All right, go
1928.
ahead.
Not many people know about this, and every time I bring it up, people are like, "What is this game?" It is a very Euro game, worker placement game, and it is extremely hard to teach. And extremely hard to. It's a steep learning curve.
Sell them, man. Sell them.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, you're placing your ships. You got these little ships that you can eventually buy more to have more workers later on, just like any normal worker placement game. So you're placing the ships out there, and you have your own personal board, which I'm trying to find a picture of. That's still the main board, but worker placement spots that can be blocked by other players.
Trading in the Mediterranean, right?
Right, and that'll give you resources and other stuff, allow you to do actions, and you can buy your own little at the bottom. Well, this is on the top of this picture, but it's at the bottom of the board. You can purchase other personal worker placement spots that you can do, and that most of them will just give you resources like wood. I forget all the resources off the top of my head.
You're on private island.
Wine and stuff. Let me see if I can find a personal. I thought I had it up here. So what you're doing, here's your personal board. So your ships will start out in the water here, and you either place them on the board down there on the main board to get those. You can either place up lighthouses, and that'll give you bread wait, lighthouses give you bread? I think
that's what they do, man.
Well, they allow you to store bread.
Everyone
there.
knows this. Yeah.
The spaces.
They just spit bread out.
But you can place your ships at
with
the top
GPS and stuff. You don't need lights. You just need bread.
And the thing about this is you don't have markers for these resources. So what you do is you use the resources to spend to buy something else. So like at the top here, that has diamonds. I think it's film or something, wine, logs, and food or spices. And so you move the ship down to the next level to say, so on the board there, like for diamonds here, if one ship equals 3 of these, so you're sliding them down to show that you're paying for something that costs that. And usually it's cards, you're bringing in cards and you start doing set collections. And the thing is, people forget you can still use those ships on the water in the harbor, as they call it. At the end of the game, you can move the ship down to the dock or end of your the round that you have nothing else you can do. You just move it down and get 3 of any resources. So people forget that kind of stuff. They forget that's what makes it a little tough, because you forget that you can keep using these ships once you slide them up and down.
Yeah, you said it was hard to teach. I'm getting a little lost. What is the main hook?
It's a euro.
Yes.
It's just an underrated
worker placement.
euro.
Yeah, underrated euro. It's a very good worker placement it's a pretty good theme. If I don't know, you threw me off there. Was the hook? The hook is really good, George.
It's good. It's
a really
a good
fun
euro.
game.
See, I could never answer that question about euros either. Okay.
But that's a thing, right? Like, so crunchy euro, that is a hidden gem, like not talked about and stuff. That is a sought after thing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's one of those ones you've got to think about your turns ahead of time. You got to think, okay, you got to plan out, I'm moving this down here. But then the more ships you get, the more ships you got to feed at the end of the round. So you got to make sure you have enough food for these
feed
people.
your people.
Right. It's one of those games, unfortunately. But then there's also on the side there, every round, there's 4 rounds in this game. And every round, there's a goal you want to try to meet. So get extra points.
Okay.
And then you can recruit these people to come into your place. And they'll usually give you an instant thing or ongoing or an in-game scoring cards. So, I mean, it's pretty fun. It's like I said, it's very steep learn curve. And everybody I've taught this to or played with, they've really enjoyed it. And it's one thing is why I'm kind of hesitant about it. There's some other games on my list that it's on BGA. So it's like, is it a hidden gem if it's on there? But to me, yes, it is.
Go Fish is on BGA.
Go try it out, people. Try it on BGA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I recommend it. It's like I said, it's going to be very difficult to learn. But
how's it pronounced again?
Was it a Amalfi Renaissance? It's the second version. There's a game before this called Amalfi.
Oh.
This is the second one. Like I said, it's ranked a little higher, so it's on the edge to me as a hidden. It's just the main reason I bring it up is nobody really talks about it. You never hear about it, and you never hear about it on a list. And I think it's just a really good game that people just ignore and don't really hear about.
I like the look of it.
Alrighty. So I'm going to do this one first. So this is a game that I found, another one where I was like, ooh, pretty, buying. It's a game called Menagerie, Unlock the Wonders of a Miniature World. It's like a subtitle. But basically what the whole purpose of the game is. And it's actually, especially for like entomology and stuff like that, what you're basically doing is you're building cages. So it's like a tableau builder, but pretty much what you do is you're drafting cards. Let me see if I can get this window out of the way. Oh, it's at the very end. That's why. Burp, burp, burp. Anyway.
You're specifically building cages. You're not actually driving a pin through any of these things.
Correct. You're not building your the thing. So basically what it is you have a cage, each one has 3 different ones, and there's criteria for each one. You get the key, and then you could put it in this one. So you can only put it in the one you've unlocked at that time. You have certain keys, which you could do different abilities. And it's kind of like your typical Tableau builder. What's really nice is all the keys and the boards are gold gilded. You can kind of see it in this image.
Yeah, very pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. The artwork is very cool. And then it's basically just like you just draft cards and try to put. So basically, you have on your table, you basically have a little, like 3 little cages, and then you'll draft cards from this primary board, and then you put them in each one of the cages like a tableau. I think it's like 5, 5, and 5. I think is what it is. I think it's max. But some insects will allow you to put more in that particular cage. Yeah. And some of them are like, oh, it's all typical Tableau stuff.
Wingspan kind of deal.
Yeah, it's kind of like adjacency type things. This is how certain things score, or if you have this and that. Yeah. But the artwork is very pretty. There's a lot of detail behind it. It's just got a very good style. Game doesn't take very long. And then each one of your characters has, like, I think some kind of minor anamorph, like kind of a power. Like this one, I think gets, you gain 1 magnifying glass for each round, and the magnifying glasses allows you to do special abilities and stuff like that.
So you can only put the creatures, insects, it looks like they all are, put the insects into the cage that you have the key currently on.
Correct. So you have to think about
misplacing your keys constantly and dealing with the cage that you're able to open at the moment. That's interesting.
Right. So you have to shift. You have to go to, I think it's the way it works. It's been a bit since I played it, but I think it's like the key has to unlock a different cage each time. So you have to think about where you're going to go. It's not overly complex, but, and then there's like overall objectives. I think they're called showcases where you have to try to complete objectives, but really fun little game. And it's just really pretty. It has a really good style. And I like dual layer boards and stuff. So pretty nice.
I'm going to list this under cards in a grid game.
Basically.
Which is cool. I like these games, but this one looks nice. Like it's definitely a new, or not new, but like it's catching on. They're doing it more and more.
Exactly. But
it looks cool. I like it. Next one I've got here is a game called Veneta. And this is I wouldn't say area control game because it works a lot different than that. But basically, you play a bunch of angry Norse gods trying to sink the city of Veneta beneath a succession of pounding waves. And so, did we lose Brian? Where'd he go?
Yeah, he just disappeared.
That's pretty fun. He'll be back on the podcast in a minute.
We'll just give me 1 minute. I'm just grabbing something really quick.
Oh, fair enough. All right. So anyway, Veneta is a game in which you have a board out in the middle of the table of an island, and it's split up in all these different zones, I guess. Yeah. And you're going to be playing cards against the outer edges or any of them that are touching water. And the cards will let you basically say like voting points, right? So I might put a 2 next to one of these islands, and you might put a 2 or like a 2 next to another island. And then somebody else comes by and adds a 1 onto the previous island. And you're voting which one's going to get hammered by waves and go away, right? But as that's happening, you do have a tile that tells you what color you want at the end of the game, and you want to collect those tiles. So when a thing sinks, you want to grab those buildings of those colors, those meeples or whatever. So if you're blue, you want the blues to die off on the edges so you can gather them, and you want to be a part of that bidding process to actually get them. Because if you're not in on it, then you don't get to take any of them. And so there are cards that you can play to manipulate how the buildings move around. You can move them and shift them to different areas so that when the island starts to sink, you gather those or whatever. And so the game goes until the last the island is left over. You also have another tile that basically says like you get points based on, I think, like a outer, inner, or middle ring if it exists, whatever one's going to end the game or whatever. So there's a little bit of like, I don't want like this area to go away until the end, right? So that's basically the game. You're going to play, I think, 8 rounds until 8 of the 9 tiles are gone, or city zones. And then you reveal what color you are and add up points and stuff. So it's a really cool game. I kind of get why it has a 6.2. It's because of the way that some of this stuff happens during the game. It's almost predictable to some degree, but overall, I have really enjoyed it out of the times I have played it. And it says 2 to 6. And it's a really fun little, I guess, like a reverse area control, because you want your guys in the area. I guess it's really kind of a different idea.
I was wondering about that. I like the theme of it, just the quirkiness of the theme. A bunch of Norse gods all deciding we're going to sink the same city.
Yeah.
Interesting. You're calling people to Valhalla, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Take it down. We don't like this. Rebuild. Anyway, that's Vineta. Vineta.
Okay. Interesting. Is it my go?
Yep. You're after me.
Got it. So I will go with my next one, which is my entry in the family game category. This is a game called Avanti. And Avanti is a game that has these incredibly detailed little metal cars that you race around a track. And the theme of the game makes absolutely no sense. The idea of it is you are roadies driving around to various music festivals and providing their audiences with things that they need, like toilet paper and snacks. And so I don't know. It makes no sense. Doesn't matter. In the game,
there's probably people that really do this, and that's where the theme came from.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, that could be. But the way that it works, I haven't really figured it out because, okay, you're trying to make money in the game, and you use the money to spend your way up this track that you can kind of see at the top of the screen here. And at the end of this track is an island paradise. You get to retire and enjoy your life. And so if you win the race, you can move up on this track, but whether you win or not, you can also just spend your way up the track. So that's an interesting thing. And also during the game, you have these cards that are triangular, and you flip over the card to show the corner, and each corner has a different number on it. If it's 1 to 3, then you get to redraw a card. So if you've gone with a sort of short movement, but if it's from 4 to 7, or I forget, 4 to 9 or whatever. I think it was 4 to 7. Then you discard that card. You don't get to redraw it. So you have to decide when you're going to really hit the gas. Around the board, there are all these spots that have different amounts of money. And the person in the lead is going to collect that amount of money from the people behind him. Now, thematically, how does that work? I'm not really sure. I'm not an economist. But when you land on another player, you get to go again. You get to double or sometimes triple the card that you played, because if you bounce on another player, you just go that many spaces again. And so there's lots of crazy topsy-turvy back and forth in the game, and you really have to do this thing of, okay, I think you're going to go for this spot because it's worth a lot of money, but I'm going to use that to bounce off you and go to the next person. Yeah, anyway, a lot of double think, all in this very simple rule set, family friendly game, quirky art, crazy quirky theme, very quick playtime, and I really enjoy it. Avanti.
Very cool.
Hey, my next one, this share keeps disappearing on me. That's why sorry, is Etherstone. Now that one's another one that follows as iffy. And earlier when Tim was asking me, it was my turn, I actually realized I had 2 games in this position, so I had to try to get rid of one. The one I got rid of is the one I don't remember playing as well as this one. So that's my honorable mention now. But this one is a card drafting game with also dice drafting. So what you're doing, I mean, the art on this is fantastic. I don't remember, I've talked about this on here before.
Yeah.
But the art on this is very fantastic. It's very, I don't know how you categorize that. It's fantasy, but
psychedelic.
Psychedelic horror fantasy kind of. And what you're doing is
real quick. Just for Brian's sake, doesn't this remind you somewhat of Res Arcana? Is that what you were saying last time?
Yes, that's what.
Yeah, I think
not the art, but the gameplay. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, the gameplay. I think it's an Italian illustrator. He also did Darwin's Journey.
Oh, good game, but that's not a hidden gem.
Do you have a word or a few words to describe that particular style of art?
Let me look at it again.
I don't know if psychedelic is quite the word, but It's trippy.
It's definitely a very stylized illustration style,
It's like the
almost
guy-
like
You know what it reminds me of? Really, really fast, The Max. Like the comic series, The Max.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it is very comic. It's a very stylized comic book art.
Right.
It's really rad though. It's really good art.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Give
what
us
you
a
do,
couple lines, James.
you're drafting cards at the beginning, then that's what you're playing with the rest of the round or game. Then what you do is each round you're drafting dice, and that'll give you the ether stones based on the color of the dice, and that will allow you to play these cards. And then also the cards are double use, where if you draw like on this one, if you draft a 1 or 2 on the die that you're drafting, you get to do extra things based on the card that you have out there that you've played. So it's more or less, it's also an engine builder. So you're building, not all the cards do that, but a lot of them do that, where if depending on what card you get or die you draft, you'll get other stuff based on these engines. And it's a fun little fast 30-minute game. I think it is. And everybody I played it with has just enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not a big Res Arcana fan, but this one I really love. I mean, it's just quick and easy. You're drafting dice. It's got these little rings just to remind you what color that die is. It's kind of weird. The purple dice is wild, but it also will hurt you when you draft that one in other ways. And you're trying to fight. So what you're building up is you're building up cards so you can fight these monsters. And then at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins.
Yep. I love it. I love the art.
It's a really good game.
Yeah.
That's called Ether Stone. And you never really hear about it.
Was this a
That's why it's on my list.
Kickstarter?
Yes, it was.
Because I think I remember seeing the art and I almost backed it because just from the art alone.
If you like Res Arcana or something like that, or a quick game like this, that's 30 to 60. I mean, we played it in 35, 40 minutes. So we played it twice in one night with my game.
I took a screenshot to put on my thing. I'm going to look into it afterwards.
Yeah, it's a very fun game.
This is one of the ones that James went over and I wrote it down.
Got it.
Not this episode, but on a previous one.
Yeah.
And that's Ether Stone.
Cool. Brian,
All
what you
right.
got?
So, in no particular order, this game from 1995 called Catan, maybe? Have you heard of it? Okay.
Whatever.
Catan. All right, hold up. Let me make sure. All right. So,
I believe it was called Settlers back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
Settlers of
Settlers of
Catan.
Catan.
I think that's when I've played it back then. I haven't played it since. Anyway, this is a game that I actually got at Gamma, which was funny because it's been around for, like, it came out the beginning of last year, but I'd never heard of it. It's from Arcade Wonders. It's a game called Paradise.
Paradise?
Or Paradise, maybe?
Almost
I don't
like
know.
pyramid dice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they're going for.
So
Isn't that pretty
really,
new?
it came out like earlier last year, I think.
Oh,
And basically, the short way I can explain this is you get 2 boards, and on your board there's a pyramid, and in the middle there's a stack of 4 different colored dice. You just roll them all and stack them in a pyramid shape. On your pyramid, on the left-hand side, there's abilities. If you ever played Role Player, this is basically like they took a game and took the Role Player dice manipulation aspect of the game and did a game based on that idea. So left-hand side are abilities. So when the dice puts in that slot, you can do this manipulation. They're double-sided. You can flip them around, put them in each side. Each person has the same set. And on the right-hand side are the scoring criteria for each one of the rows. So you take a die, you put it there, do the action, took a die. But the way you have to place them is they have to have a supporting structure. So each die has to have 2 below it.
right.
I was looking for there's basically scoring criteria. So there are 4 different main goals, and each one has a colored die token on it. And both are working on this. Is like at the last thing. You're like, oh, you need to have the tiering needs to be set up like this, or maybe on your reg you need to have orthogonally adjacent brown dice. Whoever has, if you get 2 of them, you get this many points for that kind of compounding type deal. But it's really fun. It's pretty quick. I was like, oh, this is kind of entertaining. Pretty easy game. It's 2-player. The funny part, though, about this game is it's 2 or 4-player. The way they do 4-player is the dice that holds all the dice, that dual layer board. There's a backside of it that's massive. So you're supposed to take 2 games and combine them together, and then
boy.
4 people can play it. I've never seen that weird nonsense, but I'm sure that could be entertaining. But as 2 players, it's a fun little quick game. And I think it's only like $20 or something. It's pretty I like it.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's a fun little game.
Cool.
All right, next up for me is a game that I've talked about in our top 10 innovation games or innovative games or whatever with unique mechanics. I don't remember what we called it, but the point is this is Reality Shift. This is a racing game in which you're going to build a grid of these cubes, and these cubes are magnetic. So all 6 sides are magnetic, and you have a magnetic race car, which is like a motorbike type of thing. And the idea is it's a race meet, but it's a race like you're trying to get from the start to the finish line. And so once you place these cubes out on the board, you're going to be playing cards, and the cards will actually let you manipulate the cubes themselves. And so as you're playing, these cubes will rotate, and the actual track will change, including these cubes can jump up onto other cubes. They'll stack, and you can effectively, with the idea of like a black hole or like a wormhole, you can move a cube closer to you to have less spaces to be able to move to the finish line, but you can be killed really fast. So if somebody plays a card that lets you move a cube and it crushes you because it tilts onto your ship, or a race car, it'll blow up and you have to respawn at the start point. There's also these little checkpoints and stuff, but it's either a really fast game or it's a 20-minute game, right? It's like 5 to 45 minutes, because if the players are playing, you're not watching out, somebody can move because there's one cube that has the finish on it, and there's one cube that has the start, and those kind of start at opposite ends of the board. But as the cubes move, they'll get closer to each other. So you got to watch out that somebody doesn't just get set up to immediately win the game. The cards that you're playing also let you move so many spaces, and each side of the cube is a couple of spaces long. It's like a 3x3 grid. So it's not that you can just jump one cube to the next cube. You do have to move, and the paths have to match. So you can't move a road onto another cube if it doesn't match. Like in this example, there's like a plus sign or a T or whatever, and the other cube that it goes against doesn't have a road to go on. And so it's like a Tron level thing, right? You were trying to move within these paths.
You always have to move, so you smash into the wall.
You always have to move. So if you have to move 5 spaces and you have nowhere to go, you're going to smash. Yeah. You can also go off onto the board because, well, I don't know about this board, but there's another board that you have like roads built onto the board as well. So you can jump off onto the board and come back up onto a different cube. It is a very fascinating racing game. And it's chaos because even the time on BGG says 15 to 60 minutes. And that's really crazy. It can be very fast. It can be tedious because players are trying to sabotage the track to keep you from scoring, or because you're further along and they all got crashed and they're respawning.
Yeah.
And so they're just trying to keep stuff away from you. But yeah, it's a really fascinating game. I like it. Every single time I get a chance to talk about it, it's going on the list. This is a great hidden gem. And it
looks really intriguing.
It is.
I want to play this.
Super unique and super fun.
And I think it could be easily fixed, as far as like the playtime, or, not having to where you could just win right away, getting straight to the start from start to finish. If you just make it into like a situation where it's like a barrel race or, a relay where you have to go to certain, things
like
of different
point
colors.
and come back.
Like you have to go through
or
a green one.
You have to hit checkpoints before you can finish.
Checkpoints. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's fair. That's probably easily done. I think that it's only fast when people aren't aware or good at the game.
Yeah.
But then once they get too good, the players know what to do, and then it drags it out. So that is kind of like the only.
Yeah, there has to be something for that.
Right. The only argument I have against it, but it is such a fun game. Anyway,
also,
that is
one thing I really like about it is, unlike a lot of stacking, you're using the sides.
Yes, you
where
can.
Most of them are like
side.
You're only looking at the top of what.
Right.
Because so that I thought was kind of an interesting change. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild because you're racing up a wall and going straight up, and some of those cubes. I don't remember if they can be 3 high, but they can at least be 2 high. And yeah, super cool game.
Interesting. All right.
It's like Tron.
I have my next one, which is a party game. So party game entry for this list, and it is one called I Am a Banana. So in this game, you're going to have cards that have pictures on them, and you'll put out 7 of them, regardless of how many players you have. But you probably want to play with 8 players to have the best party. And you put out all these cards, and they have different things. Like there's an Eiffel Tower, there's a washing machine, there's a bowl, there's a wine glass, tennis racket, airplane, and somebody jogging, right? So it could be anything. There's just all these different pictures. And then you hand out everyone a hand of cards that has the numbers 1 through 7, and another card that identifies for them which of these items they are. Because everyone playing the game is in a lunatic asylum, and you believe that you are a washing machine, or that you are a glass of wine, or an airplane. So whatever your particular misapprehension is, as a lunatic, that's what you are. And one of the players naturally gets to have the glasses, and that shows that they're intelligent. And so the person with the glasses is the psychiatrist. And your goal is you want the other inmates of the asylum to, I mean, everybody wants to be understood, right? So you want them to know what you are. And so when the timer goes, and it's like a minute, it's very short, you're going to start trying to let all the other people know that you're a glass of wine or whatever it is through gesture. And the problem is you don't want the psychiatrist to know what you are, because you don't want to be cured. You're very happy as a glass of wine. And so at the same time that you're trying to catch the eye of various people and give a little signal, the psychiatrist is taking all of this in and making their notes. And then when the time runs out, you're going to be using your cards to say, okay, you're this, you're that, you're the other thing, right? And you get points for getting it right. But then the psychiatrist is going to be saying, oh, you're this, you're that. And if they get it right, you get no points. It's so quick. It's so funny. Great
I like
party
the
game.
glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how often the gesture you think makes total sense actually points to something else that's out there, but things are happening so fast.
Right.
And it's kind of like the other game that we've really enjoyed, Shifty Eyed Spies, where you're trying to just use your eyes to catch the eye of somebody else and just give them a little bit of information, all in a very short period of time. And it's just great fun. Great party game. I am a banana.
I'm a washing machine. James, what you got?
My next game is a game I love, but I am terrible at teaching. I've even taught this to George poorly, and that is the Yellow House.
Oh, yeah.
I got this at Origins last year. It's a card shedding game.
You
And
did
what you're
teach it to
doing-
me poorly, and I played it poorly.
But once
Yeah.
the people I poorly teach this to, once they understand it, they like the game. I think
I
George
do
likes
like it. I do really like it, yeah.
And what it is you just got 4 different colors of cards. You're trying to shed these cards, and these little discs up here on this little mat or tell you how the value of each of those cards. So each round you're doing, you can only play a color card that hasn't been played yet that round. So you're for the first player, you can play any card, and you're just trying to beat the last colored played. And that's where it gets confusing, because if green was up to 6 points per card value, but somebody's playing a purple, which is 3, you only have to beat that 3. You don't have to beat the green that's high. So that's what gets kind of confusing with it. But it is a very fun, fast game. You're just trying to win 3, go out first 3 rounds, or I think the majority 3 times. And once you do that, you win the game. And it's actually pretty fun, fast.
It's so fun. It's mind bending.
Yeah, but there are times you're the one thing about it is you can get to your hand down to your hand where you're like, crap, I just can't do anything. And you're more or less giving the other player the win because they just keep playing cards that are better than yours. And so you gotta think about that and plan for that. And as you play these cards, you bump those discs up to their value, depending on the cards you play and how many. So it's actually a really good game. Highly recommended. It's called the Yellow House. And if you like card shedding games, at first it was told to me as it was a trick taking game, but it's not really. It's more card shedding.
Shedder. Yeah. How dare you talk about this game without mentioning what the theme is?
No, it's Van Gogh and his friend. I can't remember who is it. It's not Matisse.
Some other artist.
Yeah, some other artist and Van Gogh, and they're fighting to say which aspects of painting is the best. That's the theme.
Yep. They're having
and
a
each
debate.
of those colors represent like money or flowers, I think. I can't remember all the different
It's the most
themes.
natural theme for a card game ever.
Right. It's well produced. I mean, all that, the production is very good, but that's the Yellow House.
Yeah, great choice. Love this one.
Real quick, before Brian goes, we'll have to speed up a lot faster because we are an hour and 30 minutes in and we still have
A few to go.
Yeah, a bunch to go. So like
Right.
3 minutes or
Let's do it.
less. Brian, do it.
All right, I'm doing it. Let's go. Ready? Okay. So this game is kind of an odd game. It's called The Mirroring of Mary King.
Oh,
Came out
yeah.
like so. Basically, because the photos down here are kind of lame, I'm going to do this one and then explain it. So basically, what the premise of this game is a girl named Mary, and what you're trying to do is one person is the psyche of Mary, and the other one is the ghost trying to possess her. So on your turn, you basically have a control deck, which basically has 2 to 3 different cards. So basically, if you look at the table, there'll be a grid of it's a 3x4 grid of this girl's face with a human side and then a ghost possessed side. There's certain ways to set it up at the beginning, and each person has a control deck, and then basically there's another deck you have is 2. I can't remember the name. It's been a while since I played, but basically on your turn, it goes through a whole week, and each day one might give you can do this many cards of this type, but you could do this many cards of this type. And it goes back and forth where you play a control card, you flip over the tiles, and then there's another one that actually has abilities on it. And then as it goes, one you can now play more of as the week goes, the other one you can play less of. And then your whole goal is to try to flip everything over to one side to be able to win. It's a very interesting little premise. It's a small little like indie, I think it's like an indie developer. I think they also do like Cosmic Frog, I think.
Yes.
And but yeah, it's a really cool little small box game. It's only like a 4x4 box, but pretty neat little concept, and yeah, something to check out.
Really good choice, Brian.
I like it. Next up for me is a little card drafting game from a very long time ago. I've reviewed it 11 years ago on the Dice Tower. This is Shadow Throne, and what is not a deck builder. It's a drafting game in which you draft, I think, 6 or 7 cards, but you're only going to play 4 of them. And when you play them, you are kind of like this. When the reason it's called Shadow Throne is because you work behind the scenes, right, in this like Game of Thrones style world to control things. So you're not really like, the cards are like blue, yellow, red. You're not, and they're like the church and something else or whatever, but blue, yellow, red. And so like you might want the blue to win, but you don't want people to know that type of deal. And so as the cards, after you draft out your cards, then you take turns playing a card, and you only play 4 of the cards out of your hand. But if you play multiple of the same color, you have to pay more money. So it's hard to do that. So you're usually going to play a few different colors, or maybe you'll play blue, then red, then go back to blue or whatever. But as you play the cards, their little faction symbol goes up on this score chart. And after all 4 cards have been played by each player, then you're going to determine which color wins. So an example would be like blue wins because it has the most influence in total points out of all the blue cards that were played. And then on the blue cards that you had played, because blue won, you'll get points based on the victory points of that card. And so you kind of want to be in the in crowd with the players playing the cards, but the other cards kind of interact, and they have some neat interactions between the different, I guess, factions or whatever. They're not really factions, but like the church and the military or whatever. I don't remember what the 3 different colors actually are called, but it's a really cool, interesting drafting game because you want to play all of the same card, but you can't because it's expensive, and you're just kind of going with the in crowd of what other players are playing and seeing like, oh man, all right, I know that these cards have been drafted, right? So it plays 3 to 5. It probably is the best with 3, I would say, just because you get cards back to you. So you have more information, right? I know that I passed this hand of cards and it had a lot of blue, and now there's not a lot of blue. So I think a lot of blue is going to be played this round, and it has that kind of idea. Really cool game. Definitely flew under the radar, but yeah, that is Shadow Throne.
I like the sound of it, and especially when you said Game of Thrones. Now I'm interested.
Fair enough.
All right, so I will go on to my entry for the hidden gem amongst the heavy Euro games.
Oh my gosh, is this Stevens?
What? Yeah, right.
Whatever it is, it's going to surprise you guys that I would play such a game, but it is actually really good. It's called Dark Age Z, and this is a game where you have these boards in between each of the players, and it's almost like a tower defense where these zombies are coming at you, and you're going to be playing cards into either battlefield on your left or your right. And then the way that you play the card, you can either turn it towards yourself, in which case it's part of your army, or you can turn it the other way, so it's part of the other person's army. And the reason you would do that is because on each of the places where you put army people, the person that it's pointing toward doesn't get the bonus of that spot. So you're going to be getting these command points and sort of shields and things like that as a bonus when you don't get to play a card in each of the slots. Anyway, there are these zombies that are coming, and the zombies will be doing a certain amount of damage. And when they take out your pieces, whatever they are, they do a certain amount of damage. Then those army people turn into more zombies and keep coming. And so if they get to the gate, then they're going to be taking points away from both you and the person that is on your left or right, wherever the zombies break through. But the game is like it's like a pretty standard Euro in that it's like a Euro that involves a lot of math, actually, because you're trying to figure out the value of these zombies as they're coming in, and you can bolster your troops, and so they would have a different number than the number that's on the card. Like there's 2 numbers on the card, and they just get the higher number. Anyway, there's quite a bit of math involved, but it's really, really interesting. And this is a game where the other really funny thing is the theme of it. You're a medieval kingdom, but the zombies that are showing up, they are all from the present. So there are these cards that you can get called relics that you can sort of take from the zombie hordes, and they're going to be things like an iron steed, which is actually a motorcycle, or an invisible spear, which is a pistol. It's the theming is really clever. The game is actually just a terrific, long, heavy, thinky Euro that has a great progression and conclusion to it, in my opinion. Dark Age Z, that I don't hear enough about.
Nice. I like that. I'm going to check that one out.
Yeah.
My next game is a little Yahtzee-style dice game called Train Maker. It's one that Crystal and I played a bunch when we first got it, and it was just one of those filler games. It's fun. What you're trying to do is like I said, Yahtzee style, and you're trying to build certain trains like this with different colors like blue, yellow, green, and you have to have an engine and a caboose. And what you're trying to do is match. Certain cards will ask for like at least that many of that type of train, or rail car. Like one card would give you want to get a card that has just a green die, at least one green die. So if you can't, and there'll be 4 to 6 cards laid out. So you can try for any of them, but you could settle for one that's a little easier to get. But what you're trying to do is get these symbols. You win by either getting all 6 symbols from the trains that you get by rolling these dice, or you have a personal hidden card that tells you, I want 3 of maybe the coal symbols or 3 of the wood symbols. So you're trying to get those. There's a wild symbol, which are usually harder to get. So it's just a straight up Yahtzee style with trains, and it's, like I said, it's a very enjoyable game, and it's very hard because it again says when you're rolling and you're trying to get that caboose to finish your train, you just can't do it, and then it's frustrating. But
I actually own this, and I never played it.
It's a fun light little game.
Maybe I'll bust it out.
Yeah, Crystal and I play it all the time. It's not too hard. It's just a light little game. It's got like mini expansions, but we've never played with those.
I'll never understand it.
Is each one of the dice sides have a different image?
Yes.
Okay.
Like that. You see where it's got.
Yeah, I was just curious. So it's like standard die, just with different images on it, versus one
standard
die
6-sided die.
Okay, looks fun though.
I think the engine's on there twice, if I recall.
Oh, gotcha. That's why I was curious.
But you get 7 of the dice instead of 5, like Yahtzee, right?
Right. but it's still you roll 3 times, up to 3 times.
Cool.
To
That's fine.
try to match it. And the double engines, if you get double engines on your train, it does something. I think you can take another turn.
Gotcha.
If I recall, it's been a while since I played it, but we need to get this back out. Like I said, it's a quick little filler game, nothing too complicated.
That looks cute.
Got it.
Cool.
Alrighty. So mine, I'm going to do kind of a cute thing that I found. So I'm going to do Yakmak, the Winter Market. I don't know if you ever played this game, but basically it's a the way I'll kind of explain it is it's got a very Scandinavian art style, which
Certainly
is kind of
does.
why we picked it up. And really what it is, it kind of has a track mechanism that's very similar to how New York Zoo played. So you basically go around, and if you get too far, the next person can go a second time until they get past you. And then basically what you're doing, you're going on a track and you're collecting set items. So it's like a set collection type of game. But what's interesting is each round, there are different types of cards. So one card may only be worth this much on the early round. Later, it might actually be worth more. It depends on how it's shuffled, because there's 2 stacks of cards. One thing I do thought was interesting is people can see, but there is one card that has like 4 different pieces of a quilt. And when you build it, you actually build the quilt out.
Oh.
And then the scoring is based on how many pieces did you match color-wise. So it's actually a really fun little easy game. It's visually very interesting. Takes about 20 minutes. But yeah, Yakmak, it's a pretty interesting, small little game, but it's fun to play here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks pretty neat. I like it.
How do you spell Yakmak?
For those listening,
It is JOKKMOKK.
All right.
The Winter Market.
Yakmak.
Produced by WizKids.
Wow. Actually, the thing is, I'll just say WizKids has a lot of hidden gems because, no offense, they don't promote their stuff as well as I think they should.
No,
Right.
Actually, it's really funny. There's another game I played. And I was like, I didn't know they would even do this type of game.
Yeah, their games, I like WizKids too, which is a shame. So
Yeah.
You're
Just real
up.
quick, I just had a thought for the Veneta game. We should probably spell that as well. It's VINETA. Some of these you wouldn't be able
I
to
believe
find
I
very easily.
did. But
Oh,
maybe
sorry.
I didn't.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. But I agree. If it's a weird spelling, maybe say it out. Speaking of weird spelling, I've got a game called Akai. It's not Akaya, even though it has an A on the end. It's ACHAI.
You just liked it because it was
it's
close to
high.
Kion.
Akai. Yeah, it's like Akai.
ACHAIA. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Interesting.
Well, anyway, this is a game in which there's a grid of, it's a dice placement game where you're placing out dice to, I guess, control the different areas. There's a 4x3 grid of cards on the table or tiles, and they have special abilities on them. And as you put a die out, if somebody else puts a die, if I could put a 3 and you put a 6, you win because your die is more powerful than mine. And you want to claim these different areas to do the powers that are on them, because you do have a hand of cards that you're trying to play, much like the intrigue phase of Spartacus, which is another game. But basically you're playing cards to mess with people or to move things around and do stuff. And it's all a game about gaining victory points, but it's a really neat game in which it's a cool dice placement game is really all it is. But the selling point to this is the gameplay overall. It's not like something that's doing anything unique, I guess, but it's like the feel of playing the game is really fun. And I like the intrigue that you're playing these cards that will like mess with other people's dice. And it does have a little bit of a take that, if I remember, or maybe a lot more than I think it did. And it's fine though, because it builds itself into the game. So it's not like you're playing this dice placement game to collect resources and then all of a sudden somebody screws you over. This is a game where it's all about that kind of stuff. And super good game. I liked it a lot. And it's Akai, ACHAIA, not Akaya.
All right. So I've got my next one here, and it is one that is the newest one on my list, and it is called Ouija Manor.
Ouija who?
Did I share the right screen?
No.
No.
You showed some rules to some game. That's kind of fun.
Fantastic.
I'm glad it was that, nothing else.
Sure.
So I will try that again. Here we go.
And
Ouija
take
Manor.
two.
Yeah. This is a game. that has this great table presence because you build out this little house.
Is it
That
Ouija or
I don't know how to say it. I'm going to spell it.
like the Ouija board? Right?
Ouija. Yes. Ouija. Ouija, like a Ouija board. That's how I'm saying it. And you build out this house, right? And in the house, there are all of these rooms that are quite elaborate in terms of their art. And they have all these crazy things all over the place. And in the game, one of you is playing the spirit, and the spirit is going to know by putting 4 cards together the name of the person who died, as well as their epitaph, the reason, what happened, right? This whole story, this little paragraph. And then there are characters that the spirit can use, not the spirit, sorry, that the players can use. They each have a character that they can place in the house, and they have these arms that you can point at things. So they're pointing to a thing in the house. And sorry, the characters don't get to, the players don't get to do that. The spirit gets to put them all out, right? And point at different things to clue the players into figuring out by looking at the cards, the spread of cards that have the various
I mean, it's
player
kind of like
names.
Mysterium 3D edition.
It's
Right,
Super
yeah.
Mysterium 3D edition, and I love it. It's so much fun to do it that way.
You could have just said that.
Yeah.
You're right.
I like that concept. That's really cool.
Yeah, and
Like
there are
pointing
even
the little
cards.
models at stuff.
It's so good, and there are little cards that you can get hints that the players can spend to get hints from the spirit as well. And there's a little tiny Ouija board that the spirit can use to give them clues.
Oh my gosh.
It's for
I
no
can't-
reason, but it's hilarious.
I kind of like that because the one thing that I have an issue with Mysterium is everything is so incredibly vague.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
and here,
this
you
is
know,
actually kind of interesting. Yeah.
It's quite good because you have this array of cards that the players can then decide, okay, we're going to put this one in the top left, and that's going to be, you know, the person's name, right? But there's a picture, so you can point at things to indicate, you know, in the picture, like, okay, it's a guy with a hat, or it's a fisherman, or, you know, I don't know, whatever you're pointing at in the house to try to get them to
Right.
guess that card. But they have to get 4 cards correct in that way to put together the entire, you know, was this the way that you met your end, spirit? That kind of thing. It's so fun. I love
Man.
that kind of theme.
My wife really loves Mysterium. So this is definitely one I'm going to check out.
Check it out. Absolutely. Ouija. How do you say it?
Ouija,
Ouija?
board? Like a Ouija
It's-
manor?
It's probably
Ouija.
Ouija Manor.
It's
Ouija.
Ouija.
Okay.
It's Ouija.
Ouija.
Okay.
Well, look,
Well,
America.
that's what
anyway.
America.
Americans say Ouija.
America.
Yeah.
Do it, James.
Wait.
What do you got?
Some of the Ouija boards.
Come on,
Okay.
Ouija boards.
My next one is Waffle Time. It is you're trying to
Waffle
build it sounds like a little kiddie game, but it's actually a really fun drafting game. What you're doing is this little bar come here. I'm sorry. It
Squirrel.
always hides my tabs, so I can't see what's going on.
Okay. Great components.
Yeah, that's a problem. So what you're doing is you're trying to build the best waffle with the toppings. So what you're doing is you're drafting the toppings. There's a 3x3 grid, so there's 9 toppings. And in player order, you place your marker out there anywhere along the board that's open, and you get the first 2 toppings that's next to your marker. And you have to place them on your waffle. And what you're trying to do for each topping type, like strawberry, blackberry, banana, and cherry, you've got cards out there that you want to meet a certain pattern for each of those different fruits. Once you meet the pattern, you get to put syrup on top of your fruit. And that is the only way you can score your fruit that's on your waffle, is have syrup on it. So you're trying
Okay.
to do those patterns. So it's a pattern matching game. And you can also put butter on your waffle and it gets more points. But like I said, it sounds really like a child's game, but it is obviously a family game.
Yeah.
But it is pretty fun drafting game. Every time I've taught this one, everybody's liked it. So it's and if you put whipped cream on it, your fruit scores more. But like here, this is scoring for everyone, the fruit on here. So if, like I said,
And who doesn't do that? Who doesn't put individual fruits in each square of their
Exactly.
waffle?
Yeah. The only thing I ever do is just fill up each square with syrup.
Right.
You know, like
So that's what this is. It's just a pattern building drafting game of fruit, and you're just trying to get the most syrup and most points.
Cool.
pretty straightforward. It's a really fun game.
Looks
Another
tasty.
light game. Yeah, and it's one of those ones that are hidden because if you see the name, you're like Waffle Time. Why would I want to play something Waffle Time? That sounds like a little Loop and Chewy or something, you know. So
What?
but
How dare
I've
you?
never played Loop and Chewy.
Loop
so
and
I don't-
Chewy's awesome.
I've never played
like
it, so
that.
I don't know.
It's like that Mayday game, that pancake flipping game.
Like, don't break the ice or something. How about that? You think, oh, Waffle Time, don't break the ice, ants in your pants, and all that.
Oh, I see what you're
But,
saying. Like
yeah,
very
so-
mass markety.
Right. No,
kids
this
game.
is a hidden gem that I forget who it by, but it and maybe spell waffle there for you. WAFFLE.
AG.
AG. Yeah, I got it on one of their big sales one time, and it's stayed in my collection since then. It's just one of those, again, another light game, 25, 30 minutes, quick game, fun, pattern building, and then and there's like 4 or 5 cards for each fruit, so every game is going to have a different setup on every,
James would have liked
patterns.
it better if it was called Ether Waffle.
Yeah, exactly.
It like better if edible. Brian, what you got?
Edibles.
Just debating on which one I'm going to go with. You know what? I'm going to do this one because it's a little older. Because my stuff is in literally no particular order. There's a game called Cauldron. Came out in like 2015. And this is kind of an interesting game. So basically, the way the premise of this game works is the thing we didn't like about it is there's a lot of take that and messing with your opponents kind of thing. But basically, it's you're basically, I think, competing witches. And let me see if I can pull up. So it kind of has like this kind of idea. There's a big tile section in the middle with different components on it, different ingredients. And basically, there's a drafting phase. You draft all the ingredients from the middle. And then there are different spells you have to complete. But some of the spells, when you use them, can actually mess with the opponent. And then there's a stealing mechanism where you roll a die and you have to hit a certain number, and you can steal ingredients from opponents. You can block spells. So if somebody tries to cast one, you can actually stop it. There's a lot
That's
of
never
attacking
fun.
the other players. But the game is really based around that concept of competing. So there's a lot of asymmetric powers within each one of the wizards. It's a very interesting game. It came out like 12 years ago, something like that. But there's a scoring track where you're basically going up, and as you hit certain points, you get different bonuses and so forth. And I was trying to find a picture, but yeah, the tiles are really cool. The opponents are pretty nice. I think we picked it up at Gen Con during their trade, one of their consignment room. We were like, "Oh, this is pretty cool," and picked it up. And I was like, "Oh, this is kind of a neat little game." But there is a lot of aggressiveness in the way that the different abilities work. So that's not really our thing, but I could see some people would love this game.
I like
Cool.
how in the example that you're giving, you can cast a spell to cure the hiccups or teleport.
Yeah.
Choose your
What exactly is? Yeah, hiccup cure. What is the other? I was trying to see what this.
2 halves of a frog. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Oh,
But if you
the
throw in
legs. You want some frog
a
legs? Some
Mandrake
potion
beach?
of
root
teleportation.
and a snake, you teleport. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's that one. Pretty neat little game.
Well, speaking of take that, my next game is all about that. And it is not a very nice game. It is Cutthroat Kingdom, which is also an AEG game. This game is you basically play a kingdom and you're basically destroying everybody, right? So there's not a board. This actually comes with a piece of fabric that you put out. It really doesn't matter. It's just a place to put cards because it's all cards. In a ring around, there are 8 spots in a ring that you're going to put these location cards. And that's what you're fighting over, basically. And there's a bunch of decks to this game. And you're going to be on your turn playing cards in front of you onto those different locations to build them up with defenses of different colors, red, blue, yellow type of knights or whatever. And you are spreading out from there. So you can't move to any location. You have to actually take out locations left or right of one that you have adjacency to, right? And what makes this game unique, because you're playing cards to attack each other, but then you can discard cards of the same color to defend and things like that. But what makes it unique is with a higher player count, which is the only thing I recommend playing it with, eventually there's these events come out every round. And one of the events that you put in with a higher player count is that two players will get married, and you can kind of bid on who's going to get married together. And then those players combine their victory points at the end of the game, but they also become the biggest targets. And then on top of that, at the very end of the game, there's this thing called the feast. So you're collecting these cards throughout the game. And at the end, you're playing these feast cards in front of people face down. And then you shuffle that. Once everybody's placed all their feast cards out in front of the players they want to play them in front of, you shuffle your own and then have to reveal them. But you also can play other cards to stop, because you sit at this big feast. I don't know what you're trying to do thematically. I guess you're trying to have diplomacy, but you can be poisoned and you need to play cards to counteract those poisons and stuff. And so it is a crazy, you have to have a good group for this. But if you do, and you don't mind playing cards against each other and laughing about how absolutely decimated somebody gets and stuff like that, it is a fantastic game. So that is Cutthroat Kingdoms by AG.
Nice. All right. Well, speaking of having certain groups for certain games, my next one is a game that I adore this game, but it's the game that I have the hardest time getting anyone to play. And it's a shame because every time I have gotten groups to play it, they've always had a good time. And it's Cyrano. This is a game that is one in which you are creating poetry, and you'll have a theme to it, and you'll have two endings. Like in this case, we have Eve or own. And so they're word endings, and you create a 4-line poem that uses each of those word endings at the end of the line twice. And it's going to be a poem about whatever the theme is, right? And then when you've created your poem, there's a couple things that happens. You're trying to guide Cyrano up the ladder to meet Roxanne. And in the first part, everyone reads their poems out, right? Which is always fun to see what people come up with. But during that part, for each of the words that you've used as your rhyme, every unique one, you get to move one step up the ladder. So you're climbing the ladder based on the uniqueness of the words that you've chosen and worked into your poem. And then the other part is everyone plays a card and votes on the poem in terms of which one they liked the best to least, I suppose. And then Roxanne will climb down your ladder for the votes that you get. And whoever can meet in the middle, or whoever, can meet Roxanne first in whatever way that's done, whether she's coming down or you're going up or you're both. Anyway, that's how you win the game. It is an absolute blast. If you can get past people's just general reluctance to deal with poetry, so much creativity comes out and so much laughter, and it's a great game. Cyrano, love it.
Tim, you're muted. Oh, okay. So I'm going to need your help.
Continue.
I'm going to need your help on this, Tim.
That we don't breathe into the mic randomly. Go ahead, James.
My next one, I need your help, Tim, because I don't remember all of it, and you're the one that taught me this game. And this is Sailing Towards Osiris. It's a great, you pull workers out of a bag. We played this 5 years ago, so that's how long it's been. So I'm still kind of, but it's
yes, because my mind's that sharp.
So what you're doing is you got there's 4 rounds or 4 sections of the river you're going down, and you only can do stuff in that section or previous sections. So you can't do anything ahead of time. There are game breaking cards and stuff that allow you to do other things, but you're trying to build your buildings out there. You're getting, I think it's area control. You're using workers that you've drawn out of the bag to be able to do certain actions, and you're trying to make patterns and stuff so you can score more points. Trying to remember all of it. You're trying to put your people out there to get to the market to get more stuff. You can buy more workers. Anything else, Tim? Do you remember this game?
I mean, I guess the quick and dirty of it is it's a Euro game that has good mechanisms, but the biggest standout is, like you said, you can only go down the river as far as the round.
Right.
And so you don't want to be drugged too far back, and doing earlier actions, because if I remember correctly, the later stuff is better.
Right. You're wanting
but it's highly contested. So
yeah, it gets crowded, and other people, you'll be planning to put something out in a space, and then Eric will take that place before you get to it. But I actually looking back, I actually won that game. I didn't realize that. I thought Eric beat the crap out of us, but like he usually does. But it was a very close game, and I just remember enjoying it very much. And every time I see it, I've got it on my shelf. Every time I see it, I'm like, man, I need to get that back out and play it. And it's just one of those. It's a very hidden gem. You never hear anybody talk about it. I think it came out with a expansion like fairly recently in the last few years, but it is card driven worker play. Like I said, you are the randomness of drawing workers out of a bag, so you might not get the workers you need, but you can always there's a way to buy ones that you need off the board.
Okay.
And that is sailing toward Osiris. And BGG is terrible at spell. It doesn't. If you put towards with an S, it won't find it. So you got to put sailing toward Osiris.
Gotcha.
Egyptian theme, obviously.
I really, really like this game.
Yeah,
Good game.
It
looks
a really
cool.
Good game.
It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well produced.
All righty. I'm going to do one that's maybe maybe more people do know about this game. I just think it's a fantastic game because I was like, what is this? I'm buying it. How many of you have heard of this game, Forges of Ravenshire?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, great game. Derp. We call it the Derpy game.
Okay.
Look at that
Because
cover.
the cover.
Oh, because the cover. I love
the Badger's got that derp look on.
I
and that's
love the cover, man. It's so hilarious.
that's the character I always play with too, somehow because I think he's red, and they always stick
Yeah.
me with red.
I always play the
So-
Trash Panda.
Yeah,
He's got
But
his,
basically-
for those of you listening, he's got his tongue sticking out to the side, like derp, derp, derp.
but that's because he's got that. He's yeah, exactly. He's a blacksmith, so he's like banging on. He's got his tongue out while he's working, but I
Right.
doubt that's very recommended while you're
It's not
working
good
with
for
that
him.
heat and
George,
sparks
you
flying off.
have this game, right? Because it's got anamorphic characters in it.
No, actually, I don't own this one. I
Okay,
would
so-
like to.
So what's really cool about this game is you have 3 different color dice, and on your turn you roll the die and you place the die in one of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 6 different slots, and you get the action based on the dice value. So you might put it in the first one, it gives you this much ore, right? And then the next die you have to place has to be in a different slot. But then the next action is you have to remove a die, and it can't be the one that you placed. And then you get the same action a second time. But then on your player board, it goes in one of 3 guild areas based on color, which then that's where your engine building aspect of it is. So it might generate this if you put it in the first one. And on the board, there's a section for guild. There's these little things you slot inside of your board to add more things. And then there's a crafting phase because at one point you get the swords and the weapons you're trying to craft. Then the dice go from there to the right-hand side, which activate again in one of the different sections and to kind of convert resources into different resources. Then you can complete it. And then on the very far right of your board is where the actual completed item goes. So it's
I do
like
like
one,
games that use the dice multiple times. That's cool.
yeah, the dice is used like 1, 2, 3, at least 3, 4 times. And it's a fun little game. We ran into it, saw it at the one of the local stores. I was like, I just like the artwork. Has a very even though it's BA Games, I think it has a very Thunderworks kind of feel to their style. I think.
I agree.
But yeah, that's a 4-player version, just chaos everywhere. But really fun little game, very fun. It takes maybe like 40 minutes, I think. But
Yeah, it's not
neat
bad.
little game.
Excellent game.
Forges of
Ravenshire.
Yes. All right. Next up on my, by the way, I have, other than this one, I have 2 more. Everybody have 2 more? We're not really doing a
Yes.
top 10, but I assume everybody has 10.
I have an honorable mention.
And
I have 2
I
more.
have a very quick honorable mention. So
Okay.
we'll run through this real quick. And my next game on the list is, I don't know, it's probably talked about more at the time, but this is a very definitive 6-player game called Senji. And Senji is the closest thing you can get to playing the game Diplomacy, but still being a board game. I don't mean that in an insulting way. What I mean by that is there's a lot of components and things you can do and not just be like diplomacy and talking. So in Senji, there is a map of Japan or whatever, and it's a very risk looking game where you have all these different tokens out on these different spots or regions or whatever of the board, and you're trying to conquer the different areas. But the gameplay is basically you have a hand of cards that everybody has, and if I remember correctly, they're a little bit different for each player, or maybe they're exactly the same. But during one part of the round, you can talk to each other. I could take James and be like, come over here real quick. We're going to make a deal, and I'll trade cards with him, or I'll trade cards with Brian. And then I'll go over and maybe trade some people with George. And you're making all these deals and stuff by trading out your cards for other players' cards, because different things will happen in the game to where you'll battle and you'll roll dice. Well, when you roll dice, you only get to count your symbol. So there's 6 symbols in the game. And so like if I'm the player with the dragon symbol or whatever, and I roll the dice, I only get the dragons. But if I can show that I have support from George and he happens to be the fans, I get to claim all those symbols as well. And so like you want to make these deals so that when you go into combat, you roll on dice and you can use a lot more dice because you got the house symbols from the other players by their cards. You're also collecting these Hanafuda cards. And that's kind of more of like a set collection that you're doing on the side, but you can use them as currency to trade people. Like, oh, you're collecting Hanafuda? All right, I'll give you some of these if you give me your military support. So you don't have to trade like 1 for 1 as far as military for military. You can trade money and things like that for that. So,
okay, that's cool.
Dude, it's such a fantastic game. It's a little lengthy, I think, because it says 90 minutes, and it is a sand timer game. So when you're doing the diplomacy thing, it's like a 3 or 5 minute sand timer.
Okay.
But there's been times where it's like, hey, come in this other room. It actually encourages you to have secret meetings with the players during that negotiation time. And you can, if you're a strategist, you can really sit there and play and work the game over the next few rounds, because you're like, okay, I know that I'm going to have to expand in this area. And so I'm going to go make a deal with the purple player so that I can take out the black player. Right. And so it is crazy good. It is a phenomenal game. It is absolutely a hidden gem, and it's from 2008. So at the time, I think it had a little bit, had more buzz, but it is a great game.
I have a crucial question for you.
Senji, Senji. What's up?
So can you make a deal and then go against what you said and backstab? Does it end friendships the way diplomacy does?
Not really, because the deals you're making, you're trading things directly.
Okay, that's good.
You probably don't want to do a lot of deals where it's like, oh, I won't attack your province over here later on, because, I just don't see that working out as well. Maybe it does, and I just don't remember. But typically it's like, what's in it for me? I will give you my military 4 if you give me 2 Hanafuda cards in this. Now, I suppose you can say, I'll trade you military strength if our 2 provinces over here don't fight each other this round. But I don't think you have to honor that.
Okay.
So
it's not quite as diplomacy-like as diplomacy. So that's a good thing.
yeah.
All right.
That's what I meant. It's like playing diplomacy, but a board game.
Nice. My next one is going to be a little game, and it's called Mosaic, Mozaik. This is my entry that is like Dixit style game, because in this one, you have these lovely, really gorgeous cards with various French artists that various French artists have created. And then also, you're going to have cards that have words on them, like a duo or flying or human or fire or just various things. What you'll do during the game is you're going to put your cards out in a grid. You're going to acquire the cards by drafting them, and you draft by playing a card initially that has a number on it. And that number is going to determine what order you get to go in the draft. So that's really important. And you get the card, drafting it. The card that you play to determine how you draft doesn't get you the picture card. It is the picture card. And that picture has to go in your 3x3 grid somewhere. But then, based on your order in the initiative, you draft the descriptor card that goes on the outside of your 3x3 grid. And you get points based on how many things along the row or column that you've put it in have an aspect of that descriptor in it. So it's really interesting, because you have to put things out before you finished your grid. And now you've put something there, and you're looking for something that has humans, or you're looking for something that shows something flying, right, in order to get points. But everyone kind of can see that as you're doing the draft as well. It's really clever. It's really fun. This one is not very well known, and it's a French game, so it's a bit harder to find. I really do hope they make an English version here in the States. They do make an English version. Sorry, I do have an English version, but it didn't get brought over to the States, which is a shame because I think it would be game of the year material. Honestly, really like it that much.
Neat.
Mosaic, Mozaik.
My next one is, I don't know if it's available in the United States yet. I had to order it from England, and so did Tim, and that is Amaldi.
Did? Oh, yeah. Okay.
It is you're drafting these square tiles, and you have 4 rows you can put them in, and you have to put them in the rightmost, in whatever row you put them in, they have to start at the rightmost empty space next to either the starting card or a card that you've placed previously. But what it does is each card is a square, and it's different types. It's a caravan card, an oasis card, and market cards and stuff. And each edge has something on it, like a symbol, depending on what you can do. And most cards, they have 1 to 2 arrows on the sides. So when you place that card, whatever the arrow is pointing to, if it's a action that you take, then you do that. You can do that. You don't have, it's a may action. It's not have to, but what you're trying to do, a lot of it is like the caravans, you're wanting to get all the caravans together in a line. It could be it's all orthogonal adjacent caravan cards. So this, like the arrow would point to a genie, that allows you to move a tile of your choice anywhere, as long as it's to the right of another tile or into an empty space that you've created earlier in the game. But also the arrows will point to diamonds, or which you'll get it's a ruby. You get rubies, or the market will allow you to score those market cards. And there's in-game scoring if an arrow is pointing at certain things. I can't remember all the actions off the top of my head, but it's just like I said, it's a fun little drafting game. You draft the tiles, you place them in your tableau, and if you're trying to line it up where the arrows point to what you're wanting to do at that time to score.
I'm going to chime in and say that's one of the biggest things that makes this really cool, is that you're building this grid of cards, which already has the scoring requirements that, these have to be next to these, or like a contiguous area of blues, or there's like the merchant cards, the green ones, they have like symbols on them, and you have to be able to ship those with the camels or whatever it is. And like that's all going on, but on all 4 sides of every tile, you have these little icons. They don't get activated unless another tile has the arrow pointing at it, and that just makes the mental puzzle just blow up. There is a little flying carpet that allows you to move the tiles around,
right?
Because when you draft them, they have to go in that row. And that makes it difficult because you may not want to put something next to one that it doesn't need to be next to, because it might stop your contiguous area or whatever. This is a great game. We played it on BGA enough, and then it's like, yep, all right, we're going to get a physical copy of this.
Well, I remember I taught you at one of the gaming conventions this first. Yeah,
Lexicon,
Yeah, it's a really good game. And
it's called Almadi, Almadi.
Yes.
Correct. Almadi. And like I said, I'm not sure. I haven't looked lately. I don't know if it's in the United States yet or not, but it was in England. I forget which store I had to use to order it, because that's where I played it first on BGA.
Zatu Games, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I still get emails from them. And that's where I played it first. I was like, this is a really good game. I know my wife would like it, and she does. And so we played. I mean, I played a few times. It's been a while. That's why I'm a little hazy on it. Since we played it, and yes, Almadi, highly recommend playing that one.
All right, so mine's going to be a little interesting, but basically, there's this game that I got early last year. It's a game called Immortal. It's actually from Trick or Treat Studios, which this game is kind of a weird one, because I didn't really know what it was originally. But basically, in this game, it's a darker theme, but they did a really good job of not making it seem dark. It's basically a tile laying game, But basically the way it works is on your turn, you
That is
have,
not what I expected.
yeah, you and your opponent have an equal number of tiles.
This
There are
game
four-
looks like zombies and blah blah blah. All right, flowers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
tiles.
actually one of the things in my review. I was very like surprised because the box theme kind of makes it seem more dark than it is, where it's basically just a land plot, and you're putting flowers out. But the way the mechanic works is you place the tiles, and you start with the same amount your opponent does, and they have to either if they go in sequence, they have to match. So like if it's the same color, then you can go in a numerical sequence. If it's not a different color, it has to match the value. But then there's also an action where you could take 5 of the tiles in the board and move them around. I think it's if you can place all 5 of your tiles in one turn, then you have the option you can reposition things. So it can really throw off other people's scoring and ideas because you're basically changing the entire plan. But it's a pretty fun little interesting game. It's more thinky as the game goes on because you use the majority of the plot. But it's a pretty interesting little tiling like math little game because you're like, okay, how many of these? And then you can play with either 1 through 10 or 1 through 8, depending on how many numbers you want to do to make it more and more complex.
That's
But-
neat.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Really well loved designers on that. What is it? Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling.
Yeah, Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling. Yeah.
Yeah, they put out some bangers.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool little
That
game.
game
Though.
should slap. I'm so hip. No? Okay. Gonna move on to my game here. It is Farlight. This is a game I have spoke about before. This is a blind bidding game in which you're trying to build a spaceship to take on these missions that require dice of certain values and such. And you have these little tiles that you will place out on these different components for ships. It's like futuristic kind of thing. And you will take turns placing all these different pieces or building out. You can also place on other areas that give you more people or energy or go on these missions. And then you all reveal your tokens that you put out are numericals like 1 through 5 or whatever it is. It kind of reminds me of the game. What's it? Breakout. That's the Thunderworks games. Lockup. What's it called? Oh my gosh.
Lockup.
Is it Lockup? Yeah.
Lock up, yeah.
Lockup. It's the same bidding style as that, where you're putting a tile down. And I know that you bid on this spot, but I don't necessarily know that you put a 5 there, right? So you can kind of bluff a little bit with the bidding or whatnot. And you're just building a ship in front of you of all the cards that you've gathered. And then you go on these missions and there were victory points. And that's basically the game. It is actually super, super good. I like it a whole lot. Very hidden gem and just worth as much attention as I could possibly bring to it. So with that being said, we're going to hit some honorable mentions really fast. James,
I have one more, sorry.
You have
Or
one
George.
more?
Yeah, I went last.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay. Well, go ahead. My bad. Then we'll do honorable mention.
All right. Yeah, I have to insist because this game is that good. This is a game that is a storytelling game, and I'll hopefully share the right screen here. It is
Did you
called...
say it's not good?
No, it is that good.
Oh,
It is Paris 1889. This is a sequel to a game called Greenville 1998. And in both of these games, they both work the same way. This one, well, let me talk about the first one, actually. In Greenville, you have these cards that are horror themed. There's a whole pack of them. They look like Dixit kind of cards, but they all have these horror kinds of art on them. And you're going to give them out to the characters. Everyone has one. And you're going to describe your card to the group as a storytelling sort of exercise, plus say what you're feeling at the time or what your intent is, what you're going to attempt to do, right? And then there's a guide. So one person is going to be the guide each round, and they're going to draw cards equal to the number of players plus 1 out of the deck. And they have to, based on what you said in your story and what your intent, what your next move is going to be, or your feeling or whatever, they're going to give a card. They're going to lay out all the cards. And then they're going to take characters, standees or tiles, and put them face down onto which card they think is going to be the next piece of your story. And then everybody is going to vote on what they think the next piece of everyone's story is going to be. And then you see if they match up. If they do match up, you're one step closer to escaping the nightmare. If they don't match up, then you're lagging behind. You may never get out. That's Greenville, the idea. In Paris 1889, they take the same idea, but instead of having this sort of just general horror, it's a Cthulhu situation in Paris. And you're no longer just trying to run away. Now you're trying to investigate the situation. But it works very much along the same lines. This time, instead of just collecting cards to escape, you're actually trying to stay ahead of this abomination on a track as you play the game by collecting cards of certain kinds. And it's just a really fun, interesting, and creepy storytelling game. Paris, 1889.
One thing I'll add to that is what's really cool is David Sitburn. He's the primary artist for Sorry We're French. If you look at his group of style, because the art on here is really sick.
Oh, it's great.
He is super diverse in his artistic styles. Because if you look through all the games, he does all their art, and then they go every type of style theme you can possibly think of. He is a brilliant illustrator and artist.
There's so many little details and just little horror nuances in each of these cards that it's really enjoyable. Yeah.
Well, cool. So before we go on to our final game from each of us, we're going to burn through these honorable mentions. I don't know if Brian or James even have one.
I have two real quick. I'll just say them real quick.
He's
All
I'm
probably
not
got
going to go in
37.
detail. I'm not going to show anything.
15 seconds. Here's mine.
Okay.
Mine, the reason it's an honorable mention is because it is basically a print and play, but it's not. It's just a game you can play with components around the house. All you need is 2 6-sided dice, a pencil, and a piece of paper for each player. It is called Mennonite Manners. And the way it works is one player starts with the pen, one player starts with the 2 6-sided dice. You say 3, 2, 1, go. The player with the pen starts writing on their paper 1 to 100 as fast as humanly possible. The way you win is to write the number 100, but obviously without skipping any. While the other players are taking turns rolling the dice as fast as they can. If they get doubles, or if they don't get doubles, they have to pass the dice to the player to the left, skipping the player with the pen. If they do roll doubles, then they get to take the pen from the player who actively has it, and then they start writing on their own piece of paper, but you keep passing the dice. And so the player doesn't have to give you the pen, you have to get it. So you have to reach across the table and grab the pen, and then you start writing. And it's just absolute chaos. It's hilarity. And you can do it. All you need is 2 6-sided dice because the only pen and paper is just plentiful everywhere. And it is a fantastic party game. You can effectively play as many players as you want, but I recommend between 6 or less for sure. Super fun little game you can play with just stuff laying around the house. So that's why it's my it's a hidden gem specifically because many people don't know about it, but you will run into people that do because it is a very old game, like 20, 30, 40 years type of old.
Yeah, if you want to buy it rather than doing a print and play, you can get Gimme That, which is the exact same game, essentially.
Oh, I did not know this.
Yes, and when you say Mennonite Manners, are you spelling it Manners or Manors?
I have no idea. I just know it's called that, but a lot of people call it 100.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool.
Okay. Mine real quick are Catherine by Capstone Games. It's one of those Russian themed games from the, I think, 18 or 1700s. You're Catherine the Great.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's what's hidden a gem because, nobody's ever really talks about it or it's not rated very high, but it uses double action or double use cards. The cards have double uses on it and stuff. So you play in each turn, you have 4 turns each round, you're playing a card and you do the action on that card. That card can also be used for something else for doing actions. And what you're putting stuff on the board, you're trying to area control and you go up certain tracks. That's my 15 seconds on that one. Dragonheart is the other one. And the reason it's honorable mention is because
Wait,
me
Dragonheart?
and some British guy are the only one that likes this game. It's he's in England, and we used to play it on BGA all the time. What you're doing, it's a really old game out of print, and it says it's re-implemented by OPALE. I don't know if that's Opal or Opali, but it's a real simple game. You got a hand of cards, and you're trying to fill up there's a section of the board, and you're trying to put the cards in that matching section. But if you're the last one to put a card in that section, you get the points and stuff. So you're trying not to let your opponent put the last card there, or you're hoping to. But if you always have to play a card. So you might have a handful of cards that's going to fill up that row, or be next to almost fill it up. And so you got to determine, well, this is going to hurt me less than that other one. So you're always trying to time it so where you're filling up that row or that section and getting the points instead of your opponent. That's Dragonheart.
This is a good one. I have Dragonheart. Yeah,
it's a fun game.
It. Definitely.
Nice.
Well, that's rare because everybody else I play it with, they hate it with passion. I had a friend.
I don't want to jinx us, but we have not had any crossover, which
Yeah, I know.
is crazy wild.
I thought
All right,
I might
George,
have two.
2.5 in. Get your honorable mention. Do it.
Oh, it's me. Oh, okay. Mine is an honorable mention just because I said before I wasn't going to talk about things that I'd already talked about on the podcast. That's why this is the honorable mention. I have to talk about it.
Can I guess what it is?
You can.
Well, I would get it right because I saw your tabs. Keep going.
All right. It is
Insider
Rosetta the Lost Language. Rosetta the Lost Language is just an incredible creative game of linguistics where you have cards with lovely art on them. Again,
and I thought this would be on your list, by the way.
Yeah.
I can see why it's on your list, actually.
Absolutely. So great. And you have a location, which is one of these lovely cards. And then you have these inscription cards with these various glyphs on them, essentially. And you're going to have one of those. And the person who is the author is going to be determining what the meaning of that is. It could be anything they want related to the picture that is the location. And so they write that down and hide it from everyone. And then everyone has cards that can help them during the game. But really, they're going to be just trying to guess a word and hand that over to the author. The author, if that is not the correct word, and it's not going to be, let's face it, they're going to either cross it off because it's so far away from what their actual word was that it can't be used in any help in translation, or they're going to take the glyph or the inscription that they already have and in some way draw out a similar inscription that will help guide the players toward what the actual inscription means. And it's such a clever back and forth exercise of creativity that I absolutely love it. And it is on my list, not just because it's probably one of my favorite hidden gems of all time, but also, and linguistic, but also because there's a new version that is coming out right now, and you should absolutely pick it up. So there we go. That was way more than 15 seconds. I'm sorry, but it's worth it.
No, it's a really good game, and I actually own this.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, get the next version too.
I don't know about that, but I'll keep the one I have. All right, James, do your number one that's not really your number one that might not be. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
I've even got two, so I'll share real quick.
Oh my Lord, what is happening?
I know. So one is this little bitty game called Micro Hercules, and basically what it is, it's a deck builder.
Why does it say playtime 20 to 240 minutes?
Wow.
No, because the way the game, the artwork is awesome.
Micro Hero
3 days
Hercules.
long. Keep going. Sorry.
So basically, it's a roguelike dungeon crawler where you have a hand of cards and it's like a deck builder and you're going through and killing monsters. So your turn may end in a couple turns, or it could end in like 240 minutes. I mean, but what's hilarious about it is it literally is in a deck of card box.
This is a solo game?
It's a solo game.
This is all for you, James.
There you go.
Hey,
It was a Kickstarter where it was a French artist. He was like, just donate whatever. So I was like, I'll throw $5 at it. Got it. I was like, the artwork is actually really hilarious because it's very like Disney-y kind of, but it's really goofy.
Oh my gosh. Gigantic
Yes.
fork and knife that he's jumping out of boar with.
Yeah, everything's just really comical. But it was like such a
He's wearing
brilliantly.
headphones.
Yeah, it's
the
like a
horses are
brilliant
cooking
little
somebody.
game. Dude, some of the artwork is stupidly hilarious.
That's
I like
great.
the 3-headed dog with the dog bowls for Cerebrus.
Yeah.
But it's got a really good theme, very funny. And I was really excited to get it for being like the cost it was, and I was like, okay, I'll buck it. So that's pretty cool. The other thing was this might be something I would be surprised if George doesn't have.
Let's find out.
Have you ever played Apothebakery?
No, I haven't played it. I did see it in the store, and I did some research into it, and I decided against it.
Yeah, it basically, if you, it's kind of light, but it's a deck building, or not a deck building, but it's a set collection type of game where you're trying to heal these adventurers, and then you have different potions you're creating, and it's a bag drafting, so you have to draft the potions out of a bag. And then that's kind of like the full layout's really crazy. There's like a big table, and you pick the locations you want, which kind of help you with what type of potions you can create. And then your player board is dual layered, where you can kind of like forge and convert different things into others. And but it's a pretty light game, but I do like it's got the scrolly counters on it, which are kind of nice. But the artwork is super adorable, very cute, very stylized, all very kawaii. Every one of the fruit, the cakes and everything have like faces on them, so it's really silly.
Yeah,
but I don't know, it's a cute little game.
It is, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, like I was saying, we're gonna start with James to do your number one, not so number one. I don't know.
Yes, this one is a great game that is relatively new. It's Raising Chicago. It's not 2026 new, but it's last year. It's by Capstone. I was surprised this actually met the requirements for this list because it's 9,000 over 9,000 ranking.
Over 9,000.
Yeah, and not many people own it either. So it's a bidding game. You're bidding on what you're doing. The theme is it's based on the historical thing of Chicago where they couldn't bury the sewer lines underneath because they were at water level, at sea level, more or less with the lake. So they had to raise the buildings so they could put sewers under the buildings. And so what you're doing, people take turns with their little squares or cubes or whatever these are, and they bid on each of these buildings. These are built, there's 4 in this, or 5 actually in this example here. And whoever has the most bidding, obviously you win the building, and you place it in that location where it's on that little tile there has all the icons on it, tells you everything. And the good thing about this is my favorite type of bidding game is even if you lose, you still get stuff. So you get resources that your tile is on, no matter if you lose it. So you might go somewhere just to get that resource. You might say, well, I don't want that building, but I want that resource that's there. So you do that. And then sometimes you accidentally win the building. You're like cursing because you didn't want that building. And then it turns into, once you get the bidding's done, it turns into area control. You're trying to put the buildings in certain locations. That's what you're building on. And then at the end of the game, you're scoring how much buildings you control in a certain area. And depending on where it is, that's how many points you score for them. And that is Raising Chicago.
All right.
Capstone Games. Excellent game. It was in my top 10 for last year.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. So for me, I'm picking a game that it's sort of right in the criteria, but it also is a game that took me a while to acquire. Has anybody ever played a game called Crown of Ash?
No.
So Crown of Ash is a very interesting game that was developed by a company called Card Noir. And the premise of the game is basically, let me go to, I kind of lay this out. So basically there's a board and you're necromancers and you're basically trying to take over the Crown of Ash, which is the dead center. So each person has a asymmetrical, I'm trying to find it because I have so many pictures, but there it is. So you have an asymmetrical board. It's all dual layered. And basically you have fighters that you're trying to raise, but you need resources. So on your turn, what you'll do is you'll take your worker placement. So it's a worker placement, area control, and a combat game. So it's like a hybrid. So what you'll do is you'll go to an area, you'll go to worker placement, and then you buy these worker placement areas. So like you can change what the resources are for the area. So what it is let's say I go to this one spot, I might get a resource of it's been a while since I played it, but say a skull and a urn. Well, if another person goes to my spot because I control it, I will also get at least a smaller amount of resources, and the other person who went there will get the main. So you're encouraged to try to take over more areas because you also get a resource if somebody goes there. Now, what happens is you get the resources, you could build these characters, and the artwork is so rad.
Oh yeah, It's almost
ba-
like Kwanchai Moria, but better.
Yeah, there's an artist from 1920. It's like Lottie, I can't remember her last name, but it's very similar to that style. Also, it's kind of like in Harry Potter, like I think it's like Deathly Hallows, where there's like a cartoon sequence. It's all shadowy kind of. It's sort of like a hybrid of all of that, hyper stylized design. That was kind of why I wanted it. But basically, what you're doing is you build your fighters, and then you put your fighters, once you take over the area, you put it there. Then, if somebody tries to contest it, like, so you have these tokens you put down, then they try to contest it. Well, now you fight the fighter. Now, the way that happens is you have yours that you're putting up against them. So that's what these little spaces on the board, there's spots for where the cards go. If I try to attack you, now there's a bluffing game where you have 5 tokens. I think it's 5, and each one has a different, if I win, I get that. Well, they don't really know what you're fighting with. So it's sort of like, are they really going to attack me? So you do the attack. There are times where I'm like, you know what? I already know I'm going to lose, so I'm going to bid this one hidden. And then when you reveal it, I bid like there's no way I could win. But I wanted the lose resource, which is like 5 gold or something. So you have to be strategic of sometimes you fight, sometimes you run away. It's a brilliantly done game. It's just a very different style of game I've seen because they combined a couple different things. And what's even more trippy is it plays incredibly well for a 2-player game. And the solo part on it is really well done. And there's now an expansion that's going to Kickstarter soon called Monuments, which adds extra abilities and other things to kind of like amp it all up. But super hard to find originally because, of course, this game probably didn't have that many copies. But it's a really cool game.
The art, yeah, fantastic.
I'm a
That is
fan.
me.
I like it.
Yeah, we need to play that actually one day.
Mine is coming to no surprise once I explain what it is, and that is Parlay. This is a this is a 6-player game. Well, I mean, it's 4 to 6 players, but I only ever play at 6 players. This is a game that we randomly found on Tabletop Simulator that somebody had put in, and I went out of my way to find this thing. It is kind of harder to find, I will be honest, but Parlay, it's a game where you play basically this hired, I don't know, you're on a secret mission from one of the 6 corresponding kings is what it says. At the beginning of the game, you're going to get a card that tells you which like nation you are part of, like the French or the Turks, Berbers. It's all like Spanish Main era, and you keep that hidden. And then during the game, a player is going to be a captain, and they're going to choose one of these hexagons. It's basically a hex grid over the map of the Spanish Main, right? But if you are just listening, think of it like a grid of hexagons. Each hexagon will have 3 tokens in it after you do a bidding war on it. And you want your tokens to be adjacent to each other. So if one wins and you're blue, say you're a blue player and you get a blue token on there, and then it gets next to another blue token, well, each time we'll score France, which is the blue player, points equal to however many are in the same contiguous line, right? So you want them to be next to each other, but you don't want to give it away because then people will know, oh, Tim's playing France, so I don't want to help him get points. And so I want blue to lose. And there's these little like war cards that flip out that say the next war that's going to happen, these 3 colors are on the defense and these 3 are on the attack. And so when you're the captain, if you get to see that card, or everybody sees it, you get to know which hexagon you want to have a war over, right? And then the captain gets to choose if it's a blind bid or an open bid. If it's blind, everybody's going to put a card into a pile, shuffle it up and reveal, and it's going to be 1, 2, or 3 swords, or 1, 2, or 3 shields. There's some special cards as well, but basically the more the points one side has, that's which side wins. And if like it was blue, red, and green, those for the defense, and defense had the most points, then a blue, red, and green token go on that space. And so like blue, red, and green goes up on the scoreboard 1 point apiece. But if green wins the adjacent one, then you'll go up 2. If it wins another adjacent one, then it's 3. And so you can blackmail players to say, oh, I think you're this, and hand a card to George, and he has to say yes or no. He can also say maybe, but we won't get into that. It is such a fantastic game. It is not without its faults. There are a couple elements of it I think just do not work really well, but you can kind of ignore it the entire game. And most of the time when we play, it is ignored. But man, such a phenomenal game. It needs to, it was only published, I think, in Germany, but it is a game that needs either a second edition or it needs like a retheme and a game that does the same thing come out, because it is a phenomenal, great game. It not only is this a hidden gem, but it is definitely in my top 20. I'll just put it that way.
Absolutely.
Did we play that here?
I don't know if we played it there.
Yeah, because you had the special like metal tokens and a bunch of other stuff with it or something.
Well, I blinged it out. It's not, that stuff didn't come with the game.
That's why I was like, this looks familiar, but I did really enjoy the play. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it is such a good game.
Can confirm. Yeah, absolutely agreed.
And that's Parlay, Parley. Good luck finding it.
Exactly.
It's so hidden, it's not available. No, it's not that bad, but there are copies that you can buy. It's just if you're in the States, it gets expensive. So,
gotcha.
All right, finish us off, George. What you got?
Right. My last one. This is my not hardest to find, fortunately, but it is my most underrated, in my opinion. This one really should just be more well known. It is a game called Composition, in which you are going to have
The Notebook. No.
No, not The Notebook. Composition as in composers. And you're going to be taking a character, which is going to be one of these anthropomorphic kind of things. But there's also a sun out there and an elf. Anyway, you'll choose one of those characters, and they're going to be your composer, and you're going to use your composer to create words. So whatever one you get, in this case, the owl, you will always have to you every round the letters O, W, and L. Plus, you'll be getting other letters during the game because you're going to be drafting them out of this central area. You can draft one of the letters, or you can get the wild note, which can be any letter you want. Anyway, you draft the letters, and then you create words, and those words are going to earn you roses. And you want to have a certain number of roses so that you can purchase ovations and you can purchase awards. And the way that plays out over the course of the game allows you to get these cards with extra abilities that by the end of the game, you're able to create longer and longer words. And it's such a good feeling. It is this snowball effect of word just brilliance that this one pushes paperback and hardback aside. So this one should have the standing that those do, and it just doesn't. People don't know about it. It really is the best word game out there.
Cool.
Composition.
I'm actually surprised. I don't remember. That's the only word game on your list, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the word game I chose. Yeah. There was also, sorry. Yeah, that's the only word. That was my choice for a word game. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this rather lengthy episode here, but we covered more than 40 hidden games or hidden gems in board gaming. And,
so much gaming goodness.
It is like, if you're looking to go outside the normal top couple of hundred of games and surprise your gaming group, this is definitely a good podcast to have listened to. So anyway, we want to thank you for tuning in to episode 164 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on June 5th, 2026. Send your questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on your favorite social media platforms and check out video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
And Brian Jennette.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.